Good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you to the ceremonial launching of the Handbook of Planet Protectors Sustainability Certification for MSMEs and discussion forum on unlocking opportunities for the green transition of MSMEs. It's a pleasure to see an enthusiastic gathering of professionals, entrepreneurs, industry experts, and sustainability advocates joining us today. This forum marks an important step in our collective journey towards fostering a greener, more sustainable economy and a future where MSMEs play a leading role in innovation, responsible production, and an environmental stewardship. To commence today's proceedings on an auspicious note, we will now proceed with the lighting of the traditional oil lamp, a symbol of wisdom, prosperity, and new beginnings. May I kindly invite our distinguished chief guest, Honorable Anton Jayakodi, guest of honor, Professor Ananda Jayawardena, Professor Sarath Kotagama, Architect Jayanta Pereira, Professor Ranjit Disanayaka, Dr. Amit Pusella, Professor Chitra Vedikara, Mr. Upali Ratnayaka, Mr. Nalin Karunathilaka, Mr. Arosha Attapattu, Architect Chandana Edirisuriya, Engineer Mahendra Jalath, Mr. Lionel Navagamua, and Engineer Chandana Dalugoda to come forward and light the lamp, marking the ceremonial beginning of today's event. are lit, let them signify the light of knowledge and the collective commitment of all of us here toward a greener, more sustainable future. Please rise for the national anthem. Shoemaker once reminded that small is beautiful. Today, the truth shines brighter than ever as our MSEs and young innovators prove that meaningful change doesn't always begin on a grand scale, but with the small, thoughtful actions that ripple across communities. Each sustainable idea, responsible enterprise, and each young mind daring to innovate brings us closer to a future where growth and green values grow hand in hand. This forum, Unlocking Opportunities for Green Transition of MSMEs, celebrates the beauty of small steps creating a big difference. Today's program will feature insightful discussions and knowledge sharing on how SMEs can effectively integrate sustainability into their business models, not just as a compliance measure, but as a strategy for resilience and long-term growth. A special highlight in this afternoon's forum is the official launch of the Planet Protector Sustainability Certification Handbook for MSMEs, a key milestone that will serve as a comprehensive guide for businesses embarking on their green transition journey. This handbook will provide valuable direction for implementing sustainable practices and achieving credible certification. Following the launch, we will also be hosting a panel discussion on the theme Unlocking Opportunities for the Green Transition of the MSMEs, featuring a distinguished panel of industry leaders who will share their insights expertise, and perspectives on how SMEs can champion sustainability in their respective sectors. We look forward for an inspiring and thought-provoking afternoon of discussion, learning, and collaboration. So without further delay, let us begin. To officially commence this important forum on unlocking opportunities for the green transition of MSMEs, it is my great honor to invite a visionary leader who has been promoting sustainable transformation across Sri Lanka's construction industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Architect Jayantha Perera, Chairman of the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, to deliver the welcome address and set tone for today's discussions.
So I'm in once again answer, right? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege to welcome you to this significant event, the ceremonial launching of the Handbook of Planet Protectors Sustainability Certification for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, and the accompanying discussion forum on unlocking opportunities for the green transition of MSMEs. First and foremost, I extend our heartfelt welcome to our chief guest, Honorable Anton Jayakodi, Deputy Minister of Environment, whose steadfast commitment to promote environmental sustainability and sustainable development and support our national initiatives for the protection of biodiversity continues to inspire us. A warm welcome also goes to our guest of honor, Professor Anand Jayawardena, my dear friend, former Vice Chancellor and former Chairman of the Commercial Bank, whose leadership and vision for a green economy resonate deeply with the theme of today's forum. We are deeply honored to have with us our keynote speaker, no other than Professor Sarath Kotagama, one of Sri Lanka's most respected environmentalists and educators, whose lifelong dedication to environmental conservation continues to guide and enlighten generations. It is in fact that the SMEs in our country constitute a broad segment of economic activity, like agriculture, manufacturing, mining, production, construction, and various service sector industries. They are the engine of today's economy and the backbone of global supply chain, accounting to almost 75% of all businesses and around 70% of employment worldwide. In Sri Lanka, MSMEs account for about 75% of business ventures, making a 52% contribution to the GDP, despite being saddled with inadequate facilities in technology, finances, and infrastructure, as well as lack of technical and managerial know-how to develop them as environmentally sustainable and economically viable commercial ventures. Therefore, it is essential that we share our knowledge and expertise with participants to initiate a broader island-wide discussion, building awareness and strengthening MSME's commitment to transforming our built environment to a sustainable, decarbonized, healthy, and resilient one for the benefit of everyone, everywhere. Today is more than an event. It is a declaration of our collective commitment. It marks a decisive juncture in our nation's pursuit of a greener, more resilient, and truly sustainable future. Today marks an important milestone in our nation's collective journey towards a greener, more resilient, and sustainable future. As an integrated part of this event, we have organized a panel discussion under the theme Unlocking Opportunities for Green Transition of MSMEs, with the participation of pertinent industry experts and senior academics to discuss the critical role of MSMEs in driving the global sustainability transformation. Here, I wish to extend my sincere welcome to Professor Rangika Halwatura, Professor of Engineering at the Faculty of Engineering at Motu University, Mr. Kirti Gunawardana, the President of the Federation of Chambers of Commerce in Sri Lanka, Mr. Upali Ratnayaka, the former Deputy Director General of Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, and Mr. Nalin Karunatilaka, the Sustainability Advisor to the Bankers Association of Sri Lanka, whom are the distinguished panel members of the discussion forum Unlocking Opportunities for the Greener Transmission of MSMEs. The special guests participating in this August event today are the very senior dignitaries, including chairmen, presidents, managing directors and general managers representing important public and corporate sector organizations and professional institutes in Sri Lanka. We are very proud to have them here today, as they will be the future leaders responsible for making Sri Lanka green and sustainable. As the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, our mission has always been to lead the transformation of built environment towards sustainability. Since our inception, we have worked tirelessly to promote green building practices, resource efficiency, and low carbon development, guiding public and private sector institutions toward a progressive future where economic progress and environmental responsibility go hand in hand. The initiative we launched today, the Planet Protector Sustainability Certification for MSMEs, is a product of essential and invaluable collaboration. It represents the combined strength of 3 dedicated entities. GAP headquarters, led by its founder, Professor Ranjit Disanayaka, provides the pioneering academic and innovative framework, ensuring the certification is technically robust and bridges high-level research with practical solutions. The Planet Protectors Organization, under the guidance of Venerable Tithagala Anand Sithero, contributes a co-mission to profound environmental stewardship and compassionate social relevant focus. The Green Building Council of Sri Lanka contributes the established technical experts and certification mechanisms. Today's event and the launch of this book of Planet Protectors Sustainability Certification represent another vital step forward. It provides a framework for micro, small, and medium enterprises to measure, improve, and celebrate their sustainability performance. Today's discussion forum is a call to action, especially for our youth. I must mention that term twice, youth, and the younger generation. You are the inheritors of this planet, and the innovators of tomorrow. The green transition needs your creativity, your energy, and your voice. Together, you can turn challenges into opportunities and ideas into impact. In closing, I wish to thank all our partners, sponsors, and participants for making this occasion possible. May today's discussion spark collaboration, inspire change, and guide us towards a sustainable, inclusive, and prosperous Sri Lanka. Once again, welcome to you all. Let us move forward together as planet protectors, building a greener future for generations to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Architect Jayantha Pereira, for your inspiring words and for setting the tone for this important forum. Your message truly reminds us of the pivotal role MSMEs play in driving nations' green transition. We now turn to an organization whose commitment to sustainability has inspired initiatives around the world. The Planet Protectors organization has been a driving force in promoting and supporting in improving biodiversity of our planet through diverse collaborative projects across the country. Planet Protectors is a globally recognized environmental organization dedicated to preserving and protecting the Earth's natural ecosystems. Founded with the mission to inspire, educate, and empower individuals and communities, Planet Protectors strive to address the world's most pressing environmental challenges through impactful initiatives, collaborative efforts, and innovative solutions. Venerable Mother Siddhartha Thero's dedication to environmental conservation began in childhood when he engaged in environmental activities under the guidance of Professor Sarath Kottagama. He completed his university education in business administration and worked in management positions at several private companies. At the age of 27, he made a transformative decision to ordain as a Buddhist monk, embracing a spiritual journey dedicated to service. Currently residing at Medbo Sevana Vipassana Meditation Center, he serves as a volunteer advisor to Planet Protectors, bringing together his business acumen, lifelong commitment to environmental protection, and spiritual dedication to the organization's mission to protect our planet. It is therefore a great privilege to invite Venerable Mother Siddhartha Thero, advisor from Planet Protectors organization, to deliver a special address.
Theruvan Sarnai. It is a great honor to represent Planet Protectors at this important event. Today we launch the Planet Protectors Sustainability Certification Handbook for MSMEs. Before I begin, I must express our deepest gratitude to Professor Paul Mansell and Professor Sarath Kottagama. Their vision and initiative made this certification process possible. This entire program was born from their idea. It came from their dedication to sustainability and from their belief that businesses can be a powerful force for the environmental protection. Professors, your guidance has opened a new chapter for Planet Protectors. We are truly grateful. We are deeply honored by the presence of Honorable Deputy Minister Anton Jayakodi, representing the Ministry of Environment. Your participation here today shows the government's commitment to sustainability and inspires us to continue our mission with greater dedication. I also wish to respectfully remember Venerable Tittagalle Ananda Sri Thero. He is the founder and true strength behind Planet Protectors. Although he is abroad and cannot be with us today, his vision and leadership continue to guide every step we take in protecting our planet. Planet Protectors operates under the Nalanda Campus Foundation, which is dedicated to creating a positive social change through education, environmental conservation, spiritual development, and community service. This event marks another milestone in our journey. We are building a greener and more responsible Sri Lanka, a country where sustainability becomes a part of every home, school, and business. Over the years, Planet Protectors has led many meaningful projects. The 1 million trees project, planting trees island-wide to restore forests and balance nature. The Try a Tree program, connecting sports and sustainability through our partnership with Asia Rugby. I must also honor Group Captain Nalin De Silva, Chairperson of the Sustainability Committee of Asia Rugby, who is with us here today in the audience. The Earth Summit 2024, which focused on protecting endangered plants, and the Earth Summit 2025, dedicated to wildlife conservation and promoting harmony between humans and animals. The Save the Ocean program. Through this project, we cleaned beaches and collected plastic and polythene, over 5 tons, from the southern coastal area. Our newest project is the Green Cities Initiative. 2 weeks ago, we began this journey in Kotte, the capital city of Sri Lanka. This project is a collaboration with the Kotte Municipal Council and Asia Rugby. Today's new sustainability certification brings our mission into the business world. We are encouraging companies to grow responsibly, to care for our environment while building success. I wish to extend heartfelt gratitude to all advisors of Planet Protectors, including Dr. Amit Pusella, for their continuous support and guidance. I also express our sincere thanks to all our sponsors and partners. Your generosity has made our journey possible, especially the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka and GAP HQ. Let us always remember, sustainability is not just a project. It's our duty to the earth. Every tree planted and every person inspired brings us closer to a peaceful and healthy planet. Together, let us protect, restore, and care for our only home, the earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable Matra Siddhartha Thero. Next, I invite Group Captain Nalin De Silva, Advisor, International Relations, Planet Protectors Organization. Group Captain Nalin De Silva is a distinguished leader who seamlessly bridges the worlds of sports, military service, and environmental sustainability. A senior Air Force officer who served with distinction during Sri Lanka's conflict period, he brings strategic leadership and unwavering commitment to every endeavor. Group Captain De Silva served as the past president of Sri Lanka Rugby, elevating the sport to new heights nationally. Today, as chairperson of the Asia Rugby Sustainability Committee, he champions environmental responsibility across the Asian rugby community. As advisor, international relations to Planet Protectors Organization, Group Captain De Silva leverages his extensive international network and strategic expertise to expand the organization's global reach and impact. His vision and leadership are instrumental in taking Sri Lanka's sustainability initiatives to the world stage. Let's welcome Captain Nalin De Silva.
Maha Sangharatneng Avasarai, Honorable Minister Sir, the Chairman of the Green Building Council, as well as Chairman of the CAT HQ, all the other senior professors, including my guru, Professor Sarath Kotagama Sir, all the other distinguished guests who are present here. My memory goes back to about 50 years, to be precise 51 years, when I was a young boy schooling. When I was advised by one of my gurus that ISO standards, which was initiated in 1947, soon after the World War II, there was a need for them to go for quality standards. For that matter, when I joined the Air Force in 1974, I'm sure all of you have observed Sri Lanka Air Force won most of the quality awards. That was during that time, in early 70s, early 80s. That was the very reason why Sri Lanka Air Force didn't have that much of technical issues with the aircraft, because we were maintaining high quality standards of all quality standards for aircraft maintenance, except for missile hits and weather related accidents. But there were almost not even 1% of aircraft accidents for technical reasons. So now the Buddhist priest of the Venerable Siddhartha Himi, when he addressed this gathering, normally, adding humor to this, අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ස්වාමින් වහන්සේලාට අත්බලසන්නාදයක් දෙන්නේ මේ ස්වාමින් වහන්සේ කෙනෙක් සභාවක් ඇමතුවම. නමුත් එතුමා කරලා තියෙන වැඩ කොටස බැලුවොත් මේ ශාලාව දෙදරන්න අත්බලසන්නාදයක් දිය යුතු ස්වාමින් වහන්සේ නමක්. මේ වෙලාවේ මම තිත්තකල්ලේ ආනන්ද සිරි ස්වාමින් වහන්සේව මතක් කරනවා. ඒකම මෙතන නැතුණත් Paul Mansell මැතිතුමාවත් Professor Paul Mansell මැතිතුමාවත් මතක් කරනවා. මොකද එතුමා planet protectors එතුමාලා දෙන්නම planet protectors වලට ලොකු සහයෝගයක් දීලා තියෙනවා මේක ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්න. 2.5 years ago, when I spoke with most venerable Ananda Siri Swamin Mahansa, he specifically mentioned to me that we have to connect sports into the environmental system. Now everybody must be wondering how Asia Rugby is highly connected to planet protectors. One simple example, last week I was chairman of the organizing committee with 24 countries playing here, who visited here Sri Lanka, 24 countries playing a rugby tournament. For the first time in the history of 146 years, we had a tournament of that magnitude. All the Asian country, World Rugby representatives, all were there. They were mentioning about the standards that we maintain, especially the quality that we maintain with regard to grounds, the racecourse grounds. Very simply, it is maintained by the Air Force. I think for the benefit of all the people who are here, I must mention the racecourse grounds is maintained. It's a huge ground, almost about 2.5 acres in extent. Now, this ground is, in addition to the Air Force, it is maintained by the worms. We maintain a particular quality. Don't allow anybody to come and interfere with this. No, we decide, we maintain the quality. As a result of that, we really go into standards. So this is how we connect with planet protectors, the Asia Rugby, as well as all the other organizations, including Olympics. We are just going into, it's an Olympic game. The standards of Green Building Association, GAP HQ, all these, whatever the quality standards that we are talking, we are going to introduce it to sports. In one by one, the clubs are going to get involved. So I must really thankful to Planet Protectors for initiating that process, not only for building, because we need a healthy nation. As we all know, the youth of this country, about 25% of the population, out of which 10% are obese. We can run a country with 15% youth who are healthy. So it is our duty as citizens of this nation to get the youth to a particular standard. For that, we need a healthy nation. For that, we need healthy people. I always say, when Honorable C.W.W. Kannangara introduced the free education to this country, his vision was to produce a healthy, physically and mentally balanced citizen for this nation. So that was the reason why Planet Protectors is getting involved in sports. In addition to that, I must say all these Buddhist monks who are present here are doing, honestly, they are all volunteers. It's a trust organization, and we all get together and help them. Mr. Amit Pusella is here, Madam is also here. They are really helping us. Professor Kotagam, immense work, unbelievable work. They have their own fatigue kit, they work. They really work hard. That is the very reason why the GAP HQ and the Green Building Council have got together to help us in developing this nation. So thank you very much for all of you who are present here. I am 71 years old. Very proud to say. A healthy boy, no pressure, no cholesterol, no sugar, everything is there. Everything is not there. So thank you very much. I am so grateful to all of you. Thank you very much again. Jai Sri.
As we continue with today's proceedings, we would like to take a moment to recognize and appreciate the valuable support extended by our platinum sponsor, RIL Property PLC. A pioneer in the Sri Lankan market, RIL introduced green lease agreements, green practices directly into their projects. Beyond infrastructure, RIL Property PLC is actively nurturing a culture of sustainability among its people. Their partnership has been instrumental in making this forum unlocking opportunities for the green transitions of MSMEs a reality, reflecting their shared commitment to advancing sustainable development and green innovations in Sri Lanka. To express our gratitude, we will now have a representative from their organization highlighting their commitment to sustainability. I now invite Mr. Susit Vijayawardana, Business Development Manager.
Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to present briefly about our company, RIL Property PLC. RIL Property PLC was established in year 2009, which is a leading commercial real estate solution provider in Sri Lanka. Our flagship development, Parkland Premier Office Complex, which is located in Colombo 2, which provides grade A standard office spaces, workspaces for the prospective clients. Under our umbrella, there are 4 subsidiaries, as you can see: United Motors Lanka PLC, Pan Asian Power PLC, Parkland Integrated Solutions Private Limited, RED Capital Asia Private Limited. Those are our subsidiaries. When it comes to sustainability, actually as a responsible corporate entity, we always take seriously into this area. We have taken many initiatives and actions towards that. We have embedded ESG principles in all our operation and taken it to the growth strategy of our company as well, and which underlines with the attainment of green building certification and ISO 50001 2018 certification as well. So as mentioned previously, we are one of the first in the industry to introduce green lease agreements for the tenants, and also we have the integration renewable energy systems, rainwater harvesting systems, waste reduction and recycling programs, and using of biodegradable cleaning products as well. So as I mentioned previously, Parkland Integrated Solutions Private Limited is a fully owned subsidiary of RIL Property PLC, where we provide professional building and facilities management services. When it comes to building and facilities management services, the key will be of providing mechanical, electrical, plumbing, system operations and maintenance, providing of janitorial services, security services, and soft services like liaising with local authorities like UDA, Condominium Management Authority, etc. And apart from that, as and when clients requested, we will do other services as well as mentioned here: fit out coordination, utility and technical infrastructure, and comprehensive maintenance, and full solution to a commercial building or condominium. We will be able to provide with our capable team. Also, we from Parkland, we provide co-working spaces as well for SMEs, entrepreneurs, freelancers, startups, so they can have their own offices, own private offices, which is the unique feature of our offering. They can have their private offices without any disturbances. So with that, I would like to conclude my presentation by mentioning that as a corporate entity, RIL Property PLC will be taking initiatives in recognizing and implementing sustainability in future as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Sasib. As we continue this important forum on unlocking opportunities for the green transition of MSMEs, it is now time for our keynote address, a moment to gain deeper insight and inspiration from one of the most respected voices in the field of environmental conservation. Professor Sarath Kotagama is an emeritus professor of environmental science at the Department of Zoology, University of Colombo, Sri Lanka. He was the recipient of many awards for his exemplary service, including the Vidya Jyoti Award. Professor Sarath Kotagama was recognized and awarded as the Outstanding Green Citizen by the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka at the annual Green Building Awards Ceremony 2024. We are truly honored to have with us Professor Emeritus Sarath Kotagama, a pioneering environmentalist, ornithologist, and educator whose lifelong commitment to nature conservation has left an enduring mark on Sri Lanka's sustainability journey. Please join me in warmly welcoming Professor Sarath Kotagama to deliver the keynote address.
Thank you. Good afternoon to all of you. Sorry if I don't sound right, because I am not right. Because I have a problem with my throat and been suffering some pollution event. 29th, 30th, 31st of January, I was completely knocked off at Putlam because of the Indian plume, and I am still suffering as a result. This is what happens when the air is not right, when you need it to be right. Anyway, thank you for inviting me to give the keynote address, or something that is not part really fully of what we are doing here, but contributing to it. It takes me back to 1969-70 actually, when for the first time in the world, initiated by a senator from US, Gaylord Nelson, who said we should stand up for the environment. And we know it has never been done since. It has been the largest ever gathering for the environment that is on record yet. More than 10 million people across the world stood up for the environment. 22nd of April 1970. Because it was sponsored by the United States, we also had the opportunity in this country to stand in front of the US Embassy and shout about the environment. That was the only event that happened in Sri Lanka. So it was very interesting at that time. But what led from there is where we are today. Somebody felt that there was a need, that the development process that was happening was not going in the right direction, and therefore it needed to be changed into the right direction. Ever since, we know numerous organizations came in, numerous developments for the environment has evolved. And if we ask ourselves, have we done better than what we were? I would say yes and no. Because today, if you're looking at the politics of the world, you're looking at the most powerful country in the world who says there is no issue. I don't have to name the country, you all know that. A country which withdraws from the primary problem that this whole world is facing now, which is climate change. Everything that was with climate change, the country has withdrawn. Even $30 billion of research funding for university systems. So where are we then? Are we progressing or are we regressing? So the commitment to enable ourselves to achieve the final objective of what was just mentioned for the future, not maybe for us. We are at the tail end. Group captain said she's 71, I am 75. Right? We are at the tail end. We have nothing but to look backwards because there's nothing to look forward. You know, it's very interesting in your life. At one time you will be all looking forward, and when you pass your 60s and 40s, there's nothing to look forward because you know where you're going. It's inevitable. It's just that you don't want to go there with a bit of a toss and a problem, but you know where you're going. But what do you do then? You look back. You talk about what we were, what we did, how was it. I just started that. I went back 1970. But that is the interesting part of what we are doing today. Why did we have to come to a point that we need to convince somebody else that to be environmental friendly, you must be feeling that you are doing something better? In a sense, it is because we know that they are not doing good. They are all doing harm. Until and unless we agree that as individuals, we are not the best on this planet compared to what we were 12,000 years ago. That is the difference. 12,000 years ago and beyond to 2.5 million years back, we were part of the planet. But when we left that cave and when we came to the open, so my good friend architect Jayanta are partly to blame. They created structures for us so that we could stay in the open without getting affected by the norms of nature. Otherwise, it was all the caves that provided us it, and that was part of nature. There was nothing. The only thing we may have done was cut a kataram or whatever it is to prevent the water from sleeping inside. But structurally, we did very little. We lived like any other organism on this planet. That transition make everything change today. But we are still not reflecting on it and asking ourselves, can't we go back? Not to stay in the caves, but the lifestyle so that you become one and the same in the planet. And that is the challenge that we have. To do that, we need to entice, we need to enable the people to do something. So, sorry sir, I might sound a little sarcastic when I say these things, but when we forget that there is only two things that makes us do what we are doing. Either it's a gift or it's a punishment. That's all. No animal, including human, will respond to nature, respond to our action, to initiate to do something, if not for a gift or if not for a punishment. That is animals, not plants. We forget this in our education. Our very simple education, we forget that to get something done, you must either gift or you have to punish. That's all. Any animal. Look at the dogs when they are doing with their puppies. Look at the lions when they are living with the lionesses and the babies. Look at even a reptile, an insect. They all do this. So we humans think that we are not animals. That is the problem. So therefore, we assume that we have superiority on this planet. And therefore, we can do whatever we want on this planet. That is how, since 1948, we started progressing forward. That is why, in 1970, we realized there is something that is not right. And that is why today we have no choices. What is the temperature predicted? 22,000 to 2,000, 7 degrees centigrade increment. This is all science. If we believe in science and if we know that we have come here because of science, then we have to understand that we are heading for disaster. 7 degrees more than what it is today. Already we are suffering with just Nuwara 1.2 degrees, Kurunegala 2 degrees, just next door. That's their statistics, not mine. The Meteorology Department of Sri Lanka fortunately has records for over 100 years, and that's what they are telling us. The Nuwara daily temperature has gone up by 1.5 degrees centigrade. Kurunegala night temperatures have gone up by 2 degrees centigrade. Anybody will understand that the temperatures has gone up. Not just only the temperature, but addition to it, we have put into the atmosphere so much of dust and pollution that the humidity with it is making our lives miserable. So when I talk with the green building people, I ask this question all the time: why are you all designing air conditioners beyond the 3rd floor? Where is your design concept? Because we want in this country comfort temperature 15, 17, not 23, 27. So as long as we are doing that kind of thinking, the issues are going to be there. So to resolve those issues, we have to use these two opportunities of how we respond to anything that we learn: punishment, gift. So the schemes that we are producing here is a gift if you do well, a punishment if you don't do well. So which one do you want to follow? You don't like to be punished, but you always like to be gifted. So standards are that, gifts to do better. Recognition makes you a better person. It elevates you when you walk on the road. He's that. Look at him, he's doing that. But if he was the other way around, you will press him down. So certifications is one of the tricks of gifts. Do something right, we recognize you as a society, we recognize you as a whole, as somebody who is doing the right thing for the world or for the society of that time. So we started with the big people because they were the bigger polluters. The big companies, we wanted them to come in line with the environmental guidelines. So we wanted them to be recognized first, but now we come with the smaller people, which is, in a real sense, bigger than the big companies, because 75% small and medium is the lifeline of the country. If they are going to do bad, then obviously it's not going to help us. So how are we going to enable it? Give them the gift of pride. Who doesn't like to be said, you're nice? That's why the industry is so good now, to make us all beautiful. Second biggest industry now. So these are all strategies that have evolved to make us be better into the future, because we have come to recognize, despite some not, that we have made a mess out of our lives in this environment, in this planet to date. You can take anything and you will see that every one of the actions that we have done has been a problem at the end of the day. When the health check for this planet was done in year 2000 by Kofi Annan, Secretary General, getting over 900 top scientists of the world and looking at over 38 indicators, and when the results came out halfway through in 2003, total thing came out in 2005, it was already a clear picture that none of the indicators were positive for the planet. None of the indicators were positive for the planet. In simple terms, again, group captain said is no cholesterol, no sugar. Now, how do you know whether you have cholesterol or how do you know whether you have sugar? You have to get a test done. So when you do the test only, it tells you you have sugar, you have cholesterol, you have this, that and the other. So that is what happened to the planet. Until that test was done in year 2000 by Kofi Annan, we all felt we were going, sleeping nicely, everything was moving well and all that. You can see it's already there. So that was a turning point, in a way, that the planet was sick beyond repair in some situations. How to bring it back was the challenge that we have been trying to achieve ever since. Not 1972, but actually from 2002, and then 12, and now we have not been able to even get it organized after 2012. A real environmental meeting has not been feasible because of various issues that came around, all because of the environment not being friendly with us. So the initiative for the larger group of persons who are trying to give us the benefit of utilizing the environment to be done in the right way through a gift, a recognition, a certification is all that we are doing today. So the Green Building Council, the Planet Protectors, I should thank Professor Paul Manson, who was very strong and saying yes, we should do this, and did most of the nitty-gritty because the language matters a little bit. But as I just said when I was given the document, this must get into the local language, otherwise it means nothing. So we will do that because it has to, because SMEs are very much in the local language, not with the big one. The big people will talk the big language, fine, but the majority of us at the bottom speak the local language and they must understand that. So it's important that we realize what we have done. We have done something, again to repeat myself, to stimulate those who are doing something to provide benefits to the larger majority of the people through development, has to fall in line with what we call today sustainable development. Flipping through the pages, I saw that we are still very, very far away. Sorry, Planet Protectors, yeah, the model is old. Trying to draw three people together and get them to agree. Can you ever do that? It has never happened yet. That is why we are in a mess today. And we resolved this in 2002. We said sustainability model must be inclusive and not draw exclusive people together. Do you know the difference? If you look at the book, you will see it's still the old model. So sometimes when I say these things, people don't like it. But sorry, I keep myself updated all the time. I have a very bad habit. I don't sleep without looking at the internet every night. Just what is happening in the world, that is all I want to know. And there, what did I know 2 days ago? Plants are attracting microplastic, absorbing microplastic. Now I didn't know that till 2 days ago. This is absorbing microplastic. So as I used to say, plasticizing ourselves is one thing. No, plasticizing ourselves is one thing. Big advantage. You realize the advantage? I told you we are looking forward, no? You have to save the forests. So if your body is plasticized, you don't need the timber, no? It will do better, no? It will away faster. It will burn faster. Right? You don't need to embalm. You're already embalmed. Right? So now the plants are also getting embalmed. They will stay forever now because they are getting plasticized. Just imagine what we are talking. Right? I put it in this way so that at least it will get into our heads and realize what are we doing. When are we ever going to get our children to understand that what we have done, not they, what we have done? Please remember that. It's what we have done that is causing the mess today. Not what they are going to do. We are getting them to do it. We need to make them change. We need to make it a difference. And for that, we need to entice them. We need to trap them in with this pride of the head. I am a certified person. So sometimes group captain also will not like. Every morning I walk past the headquarters of the forces, and I always see a lot of badges all over. So one day because that person had nothing on his body but all badges. I was so much intrigued. I said, "Podak in there. Oh, manado okkom oy tiyenne? On the road. Manado okkom tiyenne?" So make went on for about 10 minutes. From here to here to here, all badges. Why? Because the pride. We like to be recognized. Anywhere, any place, anytime. Here is a method which was given to us in the business fraternity. We need to put it into their heads. Be happy to be certified. Be happy to put that badge in your house or in your business. It makes a difference. People recognize you. We animals, humans, definitely like it. You may want to say it, suppress it. අපේ ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේලා නම් කියයි බුදුහාමුදුරු කිව්වේ වෙන දෙයක් කියලා. නමුත් බුදුහාමුදුරු කිව්වෙත් ඒක මද ප්‍රමාණයටනේ. නේ හාමුදුරනේ. නැති කරන්න බෑනේ ඕක. නැති කරන්න ඕනකම තිබ්බත් නැති කරන්න බෑ ලේසි. නමුත් ඒක ඕනේ. දැන් ඒකනේ මම දැන් මේ හාමුදුරුලා මෙතන ඉන්නවා මම දන්නා මම මේක කියනකොට සමහර අය අකමැති. බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ ආත්මාර්ථකාමී නොවනවා නම් බුදු වෙනවද? පරම්පරා කීයද? අනාත්මීය වෙන්න නම් ආත්මාර්ථකාමී වෙන්න ඕන එක තැනකට. To be selfless, you have to be selfish, at least at some point. That is important. The certification is a selfish attainment for a selfless person for the future. We must not be afraid to say these things. Because we are often withdrawing to say these things, we don't actually get to the heart of the person. We don't get to the heart of the child. We don't get to the heart of the youth. The youth needs to be assertive. They need to be saying, we are here. Not to say, you are there. You are here. We have examples for this in this country, when how the youth council came to be and how it evolved. But if you don't do that, they will always be behind Aragal. See what is happening across the world. Because they are not important. No, they are more important than we. Because they are the people of the custodians, the people who will take it forward. So we made the mistakes. Let them recognize you can rectify it and go forward. We will help you to change. We have to change. So when we talk about the environment, my last point here is that everybody thinks Sirla kiyana dene. Unka Sirla neveyi kiyanne. Ogollo karana de. Not what we are saying. It is what you are doing that matters more. We have to transform. We have to change. But as we all know, it's not easy to change when you have become what you are. But it is easy to change when you have not become what you are. And that is the youth into the future. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to share some thoughts. More importantly, planet protectors, I don't know how I got drawn into it, but I got drawn into it. But I am very controversial, I don't deny that, but I believe it is the only way to get something across so that we know to change. If not, we will always feel this is right, this is good, this is okay, this we can manage. No, sometimes punishment is needed. We are forgetting that we are animal human. Please remember that. If you ever think you were never punished in your life, something is wrong with you. You have always been punished somewhere in your life, and if you reflect back, you will see that made the difference. But at the same time, gift also makes a difference. Recognition makes a difference. Why must we recognize somebody? Because we all appreciate that difference. So here is a chance. So the Planet Protectors, along with the Green Building Council, GAP, SME people will have to come, but I would like to appeal to the Minister, sir. Beyond this, there is this need. People can do a lot of things. They can talk about trying to do a lot of things. But unfortunately, the global structure is such that there is something called governance. Why did we have to have ESG? Why did we have to have governance? Environment, social governance. Because there is something called governance. And in that governance system, there is a social structure. And in it, whether we like it or not, there is politics. So the political governance has to be strong to enable the social system to function, to become more environmental friendly. So we are looking forward, and we look always to, doesn't matter the color, breed and color things, but we have to always remember that. My final point, because this came up 2 days ago, when are we ever going to be effecting producer responsible action? Not user responsible action. For 30, 40 years we have been talking user responsible action. Why I say this is because of the very fact of polythene. When is the producer going to be responsible for the action? Do you understand what I am saying? That producer must also take the responsibility for making us do something which we shouldn't be doing. It is convenience for the producer, but he doesn't take the responsibility to resolve the problem. He leaves it to us. So if it leaves to us, the producer will go zero, because he doesn't have a business. But we now need to think back, because this was approved last year. In December last year it was approved. But yet we have taken it a long time to realize that the producer responsibility agreements need to get more effective with the respect to the environment. Again, the certification is one of that. If you read through the lines, it is not there. Because we are still following what was, not what is, to the future. Every producer must take the responsibility to ensure that the product is responsibility taken away from the environment consequence. So in a very simple thing, I told one guy, this water bottle, your name is there. Don't tell me to do something about the bottle. You have to do something, because your name is on the water bottle. You are the producer. You are making it from the bottle for me, through the bottle for me. So you are the producer. You take the responsibility of what happens when I finish drinking the water. Don't tell me to do something with the bottle. This is a simple answer of the plastics. It's a simple answer for many things that we do in nature. In the certification, also it has to come. It has not yet come fully into the certification schemes, but it has to come. If you are going to use anything, you have to take the responsibility to make sure that you look after the environment problem and don't say it is somebody else's. Producer responsibility agreements are necessary today. This is how we are going, step by step. Not easy, difficult because we know it is not the norm, but we need to go there. So thank you very much again. New thoughts are evolving all the time. We are in for a lot of problems, I am telling you. After being with the environment for almost 70 years, 70 plus years, shouting, do something, change this, change that, all of this. We are still not there, but it's getting worse. But let's commit ourselves to not leave behind. Because as I said, we are not looking back now, no? We are all looking forward. Huh? No, we are looking backwards. So let's not leave behind. What we knew was not right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Sarath Kotagama, for that truly inspiring address. Your words remind us of the deeper connection between nature, innovation, and especially the responsibility as humans we carry to play in shaping a sustainable future. To present the token of appreciation, now I cordially invite Professor Chitra Vedikara, Vice Chairman of Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. I invite Professor Sarath Kotagama to accept our token of appreciation for your immense dedication towards sustainability. Thank you. As we continue this important conversation on advancing the green transition of MSMEs, it is essential to also understand the broader global context, how small and medium enterprises around the world are embracing green entrepreneurship, and the lessons we can draw from international experiences. To share valuable insights, we are privileged to have with us Professor Ranjit Disanayake, founder of GAP HQ, who will share thoughts on how working alongside nature will help grow businesses into sustainable organizations. Professor Ranjit Disanayake is a distinguished academic and a leading figure in engineering and sustainability. He serves as a professor at the University of Peradeniya. His exemplary leadership includes serving as past president of the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, immediate past chairman of the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, and vice president of the Chamber of Construction Industries. He has also held the position of secretary to the State Ministry of Rural Roads. Beyond academia, Professor Disanayake is a passionate entrepreneur and the founder of GAP HQ, a platform dedicated to advancing innovation, sustainability, and collaboration across academia and industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Professor Ranjit Disanayake to deliver an address.
Good afternoon, Honorable Tera, and our Chief Guest Deputy Minister of Environment, Mr. Anthony Jayakodi, as well as our guest of honor, Professor Ananda Jayawardena, and the Chairman of the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka and the Director Board, and all the other presidents from different institutes, and my dear ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to talk few words in this important occasion. As I am today representing the GAP HQ, we had a vision in establishing of the GAP HQ. Being in the academia, I understand that how difficult the commercialize the research. So big theme is the commercialization of the research, but when it go to the working environment, we say green innovation and entrepreneurship. That simply say, Tirasara Swaganim Tulin, Vyapara Godanagima. That means the green is there, innovation is there, entrepreneurship is there. So we have been working in the area of sustainability last 2 decades. Like when we go back to the 1760, we declared that the industrial revolution started. And we are still supporting to develop the industrial revolution. We are very happy and fascinated. What we have done big damage to the Mother Earth through the industrial revolution. It continues today. Most of the universities, research centers, and companies coming up the new finding, but they get profit, they provide the service, they do the product and so forth, expenses of the environment. But I think we miss something. Though we are happy and excited about the industrial revolution, but we have never thought about the nature's revolution. Nature's revolution is go back to the billions of years. And we miss something because we have always come up with the requirement or gap to fulfill. It may be something like the pumping water. But of course the pumping water is there in the nature. If you go to any tree, every day they are pumping the water. But we could not find it out. But we went for the different way. We are very happily say renewable energy, and we need to go for the solar panels and so forth. If you go to the nature is 100% of solar panels. All the trees, everything is solar panels. But without understanding from there, we went to the different way. That means we did not appreciate the nature's evolution, but we went our own evolution. Therefore, I think it is the right time we all get together and look back the nature and try to understand how nature has solved the problem. That is where the importance of the understand the green innovation and principles. So we have to think about the nature, and it is innovation and going for the commercialization. So most of the difficult problem has been solved by the nature, but without damage into the nature. But if you cannot understand how it has been solved, that means that we could not understand the nature. Not because nature could not solve it. Nature has subject to the more problem than what we have subjected, but no, nature has solved it. But final answer is sustainable. That is what, if you go to the jungle today, if you go back to the same jungle, unless otherwise human are not attending there, you will see the nature is sustainable, no issues. The day the humans start to go there, you will end up with the plastic and the unwanted thing, everything. That means that we has done big damage to the planet through this industrial revolution. Therefore, we must convert to the greener revolution. We all must spend more money on the nature-based solution, biomimicry, and more research must focus toward the environment and try to find out the way how the environment has solved it. I am very pleased to say that getting close by the nature protectors, And of course, the Green Building Council has been doing the very much similar thing more toward the standard, and we getting together. I hope we can cope the change. With that hope, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. We now have the pleasure of hearing a special message from Professor Paul Mansell, the initiator of the Planet Protector Sustainability Certification Handbook for MSMEs, a global initiative that recognizes and inspires organizations to champion environmental responsibility and sustainable action. Professor Paul is a senior independent advisor to the United Kingdom Infrastructure and Projects Authority since 2008 and an honorary professor at the UCL's Bartlett School of Sustainable Construction, leading the governance and leadership module on the MSc in Strategic Management of Projects. With over 40 years of experience across public, private and international sectors, he has advised major organizations including UNOPS, Cisco and Deutsche Bank. A chartered director and fellow of APM and CMI, he holds multiple postgraduate degrees from Cambridge, King's and Oxford universities. Through his social enterprise, Green Impact Limited, he channels all profits to environmental and social sustainability initiatives worldwide. Although Professor Mansell could not be with us in person today, he has kindly shared a video message reflecting on the Planet Protector certification proposal and its global significance in fostering a culture of environmental accountability and green innovation among businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now listen to Professor Mansell's message.
Hello, I am Professor Paul Mansell, an honorary professor at University College London in the United Kingdom, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you all to this very important opening of the Planet Protector Certification Handbook. What I'd like to do in the next 2 to 3 minutes is to share the journey. How did I first come up with the idea, but how did this dream team take it forward? So the journey began in November of last year, where I drove an electric tuk-tuk around Sri Lanka for 3 months, 2,000 kilometers. And during that time, I went through many local communities and spoke to many wonderful people about sustainability. And indeed, the big question for small and medium businesses were, what can we do and why is it good for our business? So that was a challenge. And after 3 weeks, I met the Planet Protector organization, this incredibly intelligent and religious group who provide a spiritual guidance for so many people, were doing wonderful things. They had an IT college, they have a music school, they have the Planet Protectors, which organizes the Earth Summit every year. And I was inspired by them. And 2 weeks later, I met the other 2 dream partners at a conference in Kandy. One of them was the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, an internationally recognized group. The other was GAP HQ, and this is a center of innovation in Colombo, and they have young people thinking of solutions for tomorrow to deal with today's issues. This is the dream team that has brought the handbook to you today. Let me tell you my journey and why I first selected Sustainable Development Goals as the solution for local businesses. Because, as you will know, the United Nations have 17 development goals. But the problem with the SDGs, they're set at global and national level. So, I'm going to use each one of those letters, the S, and the D and the G to share the story. S is for sustainability, and we all have different ideas what that means. But essentially, it's for this generation to protect the world for future generations. So it's the air quality, it's looking after your water, it's reducing pollution, it's looking after nature around you, planting trees, looking after the animals. These are simple but important things. D is for development. And what this dream team have developed is a handbook that is a handrail. So small businesses that don't have much time and often not much understanding of what sustainability means, they can lift the handbook up and see what simple steps they can take. And the goals are clear objectives that they can understand how to make a difference at a local level. And the last one is goals. Goals and objectives. But first we need to take the first step. So this handbook helps the small and medium businesses, as well as the micros, to start the journey. And every one of us today knows that to start a pilgrimage, you need to take a first step. And that is what we're doing. So I congratulate you all for being part of this journey, and we will work together to make a difference.
That message was indeed inspiring, especially hearing from Professor Mansell. Now, it is my pleasure to invite the project manager of the Planet Protector Sustainability Certification Handbook to deliver a note. This initiative stands as a key milestone in empowering micro, small and medium enterprises to integrate sustainability into their operations, paving the way for greener business models and long-term competitiveness in a rapidly evolving market. Please join me in warmly welcoming Engineer Sanjeev Dhananjana, Project Manager of the Planet Protector Sustainability Certification Handbook, to share on how this initiative took place and how it supports the enterprises for their green transition.
Thank you, Sonali. Gargul Sangaratneng Avsarai. Dear esteemed guests, so I think this is the moment that we all have been waiting for such a long time, and it is here now. And we are really proud that to launch this handbook in front of all these esteemed guests and the one who has contributed a lot to save the planet. And so I actually had a speech ready, but I think it's better for me to put out my hearts out with all the dedication came out from all the contributors of this project. So first of all, as Professor Paul has mentioned, that all of these three organizations came together to fulfill one vision, which is to protect this planet. And why don't we start with the SMEs? So then it turned to MSMEs as well. So that is how we came along. So I think we had some pictures there. So these are some of our initial meetings held at Gap HQ. And then we were very thankful because Professor Paul Mansell has taken his time to visit here and then help us to start this moment and then take it forward with all our esteemed wish and all the expertise that we had with the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka and then the Gap HQ and then Planet Protectors organization. So if you see with that, we have signed an MOU to expedite everything that we have done. And so with this, how these organizations came together are that the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka will be providing the technical expertise with the knowledge because they are already giving the green certification for the buildings and so on, the products and so on. And then from Gap HQ's end, what we are doing is the configurations, the quality assurance and part, and then of course we have to give a special thank and a mention to Planet Protectors for taking this initiative and then guiding us to come this far and then always make sure that we will deliver this to the public and then thereafter that we can save our planet in the way that we can, because we always say that from our ends also, like our team's expertise, what we tell is that we can bring all of these theories from on and on in different occasions, but if we take it to a practice only, we can make a change. So that is why we came up with this the certification handbook, because it's a very simple one. It's combined with all the science in it, the SDGs, everything are there. But what we wanted to do is to make it very simple so that the SMEs can follow it, and then they can evaluate themselves like a self-evaluation, and then they can send it to the expertise team, and then you can evaluate and you will get a certificate. And as Professor Sarath Kodaka has correctly mentioned, now this certification will be the recognition that you all deserve, because with all the things that we have done so far, even at GapHQ, we have seen the innovators, the entrepreneurs, they are looking into giving some positive impact to the environment. With all the new activities, all the innovations that they came up with, it was all about taking care of the environment as well. So we thought, okay, so this will be a guidebook for them, a roadmap for them. So yes, so this is the moment that we all have been waiting. So thank you very much for everyone. And if I go name by name, it will be so much. So thank you very much for all the organizations who contributed a lot to this, and each and every person who made this project a success, and it will be going on and on. So hope you'll put your hands together with us as well to take this forward. So this is the message that you can bring to the society, and we have done a podcast as well as youth, how we can take it to the society, and then I hope that it's not just end up with the youth, it will go to every level that we have in Sri Lanka and then there for the world. So thank you very much, and we have some other video that we have for you, so hope you'll enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjeev. That would be actually a reflection of what's been happening so far in Planet Protector Sustainability Certification Handbook. And we have a way forward to go on with this. So now we move on to a very special moment of today's forum, the official launch of the Planet Protector Sustainability Certification Handbook. Once again, this handbook marks an important milestone in strengthening our national efforts towards sustainable business practices within the MSMEs. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause as we unveil the Planet Protector's Sustainability Certification Handbook for MSMEs.
Welcome to the launch of the Planet Protector Sustainable Certification Handbook for MSMEs. A new step toward a sustainable future for all businesses. Micro, small and medium enterprises are the heart of our economy, and their choices shape the world we live in. The Planet Protector Sustainability Certification Handbook provides a practical step-by-step guide to help enterprises measure, improve and celebrate their sustainability performance. Aligned with 10 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, the certification supports health, innovation, clean water, energy and responsible production, protecting life below water and on land. Enterprises are recognized under 3 categories: small, medium and large, and awarded bronze, silver, gold or platinum according to their sustainability performance. Certification helps MSMEs build trust, cut costs and access new green markets, proving that sustainability and profitability can go hand in hand. Join the movement. Start your journey today. Together, we can empower businesses and protect our planet. Planet Protectors. For people, for business, for the planet.
Once again, let's give a big round of applause for all the effort, contribution and expert guidance behind in developing the Planet Protector's Sustainability Certification Handbook. Now, I invite Architect Jayantha Pereira, Chairman of Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, Professor Anjit Disanayaka, Founder of GAP HQ, and Dr. Amit Kusala, Advisor of Planet Protectors Organization, to present the Planet Protectors Sustainability Certification Handbook for MSMEs. I now take pleasure in inviting our distinguished Chief Guest, Honorable Anton Jayakodi, Professor Sarath Kotagama, and Guest of Honor, Professor Anand Jayawardena, to join for the ceremonial launching of the Certification Handbook. Thank you, everyone. It is indeed a great honor to have with us Honorable Anton Jayakodi, whose vision and leadership and commitment to sustainable development have been a true inspiration in driving positive change across industries. Honorable Anton Jayakodi currently serves as the Deputy Minister of Environment of Sri Lanka. He is a professional geologist with extensive experience in the field of environmental management and natural resource governance. He holds an MSc from the James Cook University, Australia, and a Bachelor Special in Geology from the University of Peradeniya. Prior to his political career, he served as the Deputy Director of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to our Chief Guest, Honorable Anton Jayakodi, to address the gathering.
ගරුතර මහා සංඝරත්නයන් අවසරයි Professor Sarath Kotagama, Professor Jayawardena, and all the professors and also the architects, all the intellectuals, and also all the officers and members of business communities, and also the Planet Protectors members, and also the officers, ladies and gentlemen. I think I deliver my short speak from Sinhala because I am a politician now. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා මේ අවස්ථාවට මට ආරාධනා කිරීම මම ඉතාමත් සතුටු වෙන අවස්ථාවක්. මොකද අපි අපේ රටේ මේ වෙනකොට ආණ්ඩුව නියෝජනය කරමින් වර්තමාන නියෝජ්‍ය අමාත්‍යවරයා Deputy Minister of Environment. ඉතින් අපි විශ්වාස කරන්නේ මේ රටේ පරිසරය කියන එක ආණ්ඩුවේ ඇමතිවරයෙක්ගේවත් පරිසර අමාත්‍යාංශයේ එකක් නෙවෙයි. මේක මම හිතනවා අපි ප්‍රොෆෙසර් සරත් කොටගම මහතා කිව්වා වගේම මේක අපේ මුළු ප්‍රජාවගේම එකක්. දැන් අපි දන්නවා අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම කාර්මික විප්ලවයේ ඉන්ඩස්ට්‍රියල් රිවොලූෂන් එකෙන් පස්සේ මේ වෙනකොට ඇති වෙලා තියෙන තත්ත්වය. ඒතර මේ වෙනකන් අපි විශාල රිසර්ච් විද්‍යාත්මක පරීක්ෂණ ප්‍රමාණයක් සිදු කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම විශාල මැතමැටිකල් මොඩල්ස් ප්‍රමාණයක් ගොඩනගලා තියෙනවා. විශාල තියරිස් සයන්ටිෆික් තියරිස් ගොඩක් අපි ගොඩනගලා තියෙනවා. මේ ගොඩනැගීම සිද්ධ කරලා තියෙන්නේ සියලුම දත්ත අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ පරිසරයෙන්. පරිසරයෙන් ගොඩනගපු විද්‍යාවෙන් සැදුන්නත් අපි නිසා මේ වෙනකොට පරිසරය ගැන දැක්ම අඩු වුණා. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා පරිසරය දිහා බලන්න ඕනේ කාලේ දැන් අපිට දැනිලා තියෙනවා. මොකද මම හිතනවා අපේ සරත් කොටගම ශූරින්ම මම උදාහරණයක් ගන්නම්. එතුමාගේ ජීවිත කාලය තුල සෙන්ටිග්‍රේඩ් අංශක 2-3කින් මේ පරිසරයේ උෂ්ණත්වය ඉහළ ගිහිලා තියෙනවා. මෙන්න මේ බරපතලම සිද්ධිය මට මේ ළඟදී හම්බුණා එංගලන්තේ අයිරිෂ් සයන්ටිස්ට් කෙනෙක්. එයා කියනවා දැන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට ස්නෝ අඩුයි. වතුර අඩු වෙගෙන යනවා. දැන් ග්‍රවුන්ඩ් වෝටර් නැහැ. ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඉස්සරහට. මොකක්ද හේතුව? මේ කාර්මික විප්ලවයත් එක්ක අපි ග්ලෝබල් වෝර්මින් අහපව වෙනවා ක්ලයිමේට් චේන්ජ්. එතකොට දැන් මේකේ ප්‍රතිවිපාක අපි අත්විඳිනවා. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා ග්ලෝබල් වෝර්මින්, ක්ලයිමේට් චේන්ජ්, natural disasters and poverty cycle එක. මේ cycle එකේ දැන් අපි අත්විඳිනවා. හැබැයි ප්‍රොෆෙසර් සරත් කොටගම කිව්වා වගේම අපිට 1960 දශකයේ වෙනකම්ම මේක සාකච්ඡා කරන්න ඉඩ දුන්නේ නැහැ. ඉඩ තිබුණේ නැහැ. විශේෂයෙන්ම රෝමේදී එක්කාසු වෙච්ච විද්‍යාඥයෝ පිරිසක් මෙන්න මේක දැක්කා, කතා කරුවා, අඬ නැගුවා, අඬ පටන් ගත්තා දැන් මේක. ඒත් ඉඩක් නැහැ. එතකොට 1915-16 වෙනකම්ම පැරිස් ඇග්‍රීමන්ට් එකත් එක්ක ලෝකේ රාජ්‍ය නායකයෝ ටිකට එක්කාසු කරන්න බල කෙරුවා. මෙන්න මේ විද්‍යාඥයෝ ටිකත් මේ මතවාදයක් දැන් ලෝකෙ වෙනස් කරන්න ඕනේ. අපි කාබන් එමිෂන් එක අඩු කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒක කොච්චරද කියන එක රටවල් වලට ඇග්‍රී වුණා. අපි මෙච්චරක් මෙන්න මේ දේවල් වලට යනවා කියලා. එතකොට අපි ලංකාව හැටියට අපි ඇග්‍රී වෙලා තියෙනවා 2030 වෙනකොට අපේ වනාන්තර ප්‍රතිශතය 32 දක්වා ඉහළ නංවා ගන්නවා. ඒ වගේම රජයේ හැටියට අපි වර්තමාන රජයේ හැටියට අපි renewable energy percentage එක අපේ total demand එකෙන් renewable energy demand එක 70% දක්වා වැඩි කරගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම තමයි අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා අපි කියලා තියෙන්නේ 2050 වෙනකොට net zero carbon අපි පාවිච්චි කරන කාබන් ටික නියුට්‍රලයිස් කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක. ඉතින් මේක 2050 වෙනකන් අපිට ඉන්න බෑ. අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා 2040ට ගේන්න. 40ට ගෙනාවොත් අපිට 2050ටවත් ඒ ඉලක්කයට යන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා. ඉතින් මෙන්න මේ කරුණු ගොඩක් එක්ක අපි මේක ඉස්සරහට යනකොට අපි විශ්වාස කරන්නේ ආණ්ඩුවකට මේ වැඩේ තනියම කරන්න බෑ. නීති කොච්චර ගෙනාවත් නීති වලින් මේ පරිසරය හදන්නත් බෑ. එතකොට අපිට ඕනේ වෙනවා මෙන්න මේ certification of handbooks for MSMEs කියන මේ වගේ දේවල් මේ වැඩි handbooks අපිට ගොඩාක් අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම හැම සෙක්ටර් එකකටම. මේක අපේ කර්මාන්තවලට කුඩා පරිමාණයේ සහ මධ්‍ය පරිමාණයේ කර්මාන්තවලට මේක ගොඩක් වැදගත් වෙනවා. ඉතින් මෙන්න මෙවැනි දේවල් අපි මම හිතනවා මේක පරිසර සංවිධාන, ඒ වගේම පරිසර ක්‍රියාකාරී, ඒ වගේම හුදු අපේ ප්‍රජාව මෙන්න මේ ඔක්කොම අපිට එක තැනකට ගේන්න පුළුවන් වෙච්ච දවසකට අපි හිතනවා විශ්වාස කරනවා පරිසරය අපිට හොඳ තැනකට පෙරලා ගන්න පුළුවන් වේවි කියලා. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා අපි රටක් හැටියට අපි ග්ලෝබල් එකක් ගැන කතා කරනකොට අපේ රට පොඩි නමුත් අපේ මයික්‍රෝ ක්ලයිමේට්ස් ටික අපිට හදා ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒතර මෙන්න මේකට අපි කොහොමද මේකට මුහුණ දෙන්නේ? මේ ප්ලාස්ටික් කතන්දරේ අපි කොහොමද විසඳගන්නේ? මම හිතනවා අපි රජයේ හැටියට මේ වෙනකොටත් අපි පරිසර පනත කැබිනට් එකට ඉදිරිපත් කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මේකේ ගොඩක් දේවල් තියෙනවා. EPR සිස්ටම් එක. Extended Producer Responsibility. Polluter Free Principle එකේ එන වගන්ති. එතකොට අපි යම් නිෂ්පාදනයක් කරනවා නම් ඒකේ අපද්‍රව්‍ය ටික එකතු කර ගැනීමේ විලභාවයකුත් ඒකට එනවා. ඒකට ක්‍රමය මොකක් හරි යොදා ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ආරම්භයේදී අපි ඔක සාකච්ඡා කරන්න ඕනේ. අන්නේ සාකච්ඡාවට මම හිතනවා මේ sustainability certification handbook එක ඒකට ලොකු වැදගත්කමක් පිටුවහලක් වෙයි. ඉතින් මම විශ්වාස කරනවා අපේ green building concept එක අපි තාමත් පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ British building codes මම දන්න විදිහට. නමුත් අපිට ඉස්සරහට ගොඩක් වෙලාවට පරිසරයත් එක්ක හදපු building codes ප්‍රමාණයක් අපිට ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් අපිට කියන්නේ මේක ලංකාවට විතරක් නෙමෙයි ග්ලෝබල්ම ඉම්ප්ලිමන්ට් කරගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ඒක ලොකු ජයග්‍රහණයක්. ඉතින් අපි හිතනවා මේකේ ප්‍රධානතම අරමුණ අපිට මේ පාරිසරික උෂ්ණත්වය අවම කරගන්න. ඒ අවම කර ගැනීමේදී අපි දන්නවා පාරිසරික උෂ්ණත්වයේ ප්‍රධානම වායුන් දෙකක් වන කාබන් ඩයොක්සයිඩ් සහ මීතේන්. ඊට අමතරව තව ගොඩක් වායුන් තියෙනවා. කාබන් හයිඩ්‍රජන් හැලජන් කුලේ හදන සංයෝග වායුම තත්ත්වේ නම් ගොඩක් ඉෆෙක්ටිව්. ගොඩක් උෂ්ණත්වය වැඩි වෙනවා. ඉතින් මෙන්න මේක අපිට මම හිතනවා අපි දැන් අලුත් විදියකට බලන්න ඕනේ. අලුත් විදියකට හිතන්න ඕනේ. මෙන්න මේ අලුත් විදියකට හිතලා අපි එමිෂන් ටික අපි වායුගෝලයට දෙන දේවල් ටික අඩු කරගන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් අපි රටක් විදියට ගත්තොත් අපිට කොච්චර අඩු වුණාද කොච්චර වැඩි වුණාද කියලා කියන්න අපිට බේස් ලයින් මැප් එකක් නැහැ. ඉතින් අපි ඒකට මේ වෙනකොට අපි රජයේ හැටියට දැඩි උත්සාහයක සිටිනවා විශේෂයෙන්ම water quality map එකක් හදන්න. මේ රටේම ground water සහ surface quality water quality. ඒ වගේම දැනට අපි පහුගිය blue sky day එකේදී අපිට පුළුවන් වුණා මධ්‍යම පරිසර අධිකාරියත් එක්ක මේ රටේ දත්ත ටිකක් අඩුයි තමයි සෙන්සර්ස් 50කින් විතර ඔන්ලයින් අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒ ප්‍රදේශයේ තියෙන එයා ක්වොලිටි එක. ඒතර ඒ ක්වොලිටි එකේ අපි ගන්න හුස්ම තියෙන ක්වොලිටිය දැනගැනීමේ අයිතියක් අපිට මිනිස්සු හැටියට අපිට තියෙනවා. ඉතින් අන්න ඒ ක්වොලිටි අපි ඉදිරිපත් කෙරුවා. අපි ඒක දැන් වෙබ්සයිට් එකකට වෙබ්සයිට් එකෙන් අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපි මහනුවරට යනවා නම් මහාචාර්යතුමා අපිට බලා ගන්න පුළුවන් අද දිනේ වායු ක්වොලිටි. අද මේ විනාඩි 5කට 10කට කලින් වායු ක්වොලිටිය හොඳද නැද්ද? ඉතින් මම හිතනවා අපි රටක් විදිහට ගත්තොත් ඒ දත්තානුව ගත්තොත් අපේ රටේ වායු ක්වොලිටිය ඉතාමත් හොඳ මට්ටමක තියෙනවා. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා අපි අඩුම තරමේ ඒක අපි රැක ගන්න ඕනේ. වායු ක්වොලිටිය විතරක් නෙමෙයි අපි බයෝඩයිවර්සිටි එක මේ climate changes නිසා විනාශ වෙමින් පවතින අපේ බයෝඩයිවර්සිටි එක අපි රැක ගන්න ඕනේ. මම හිතනවා ලොකුම ගැටලුවක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙන climate change නිසා මේක බලපාන sectors වලට විශාල තර්ජනයක් වෙමින් පවතිනවා. ඉතින් මේකේ ප්‍රධානතම අංගය ප්‍රධානතම මූලය climate change එකට ගෝලීය උෂ්ණත්වය. ගෝලීය උෂ්ණත්වයේදී මම හිතනවා අපිට කාබන් ඩයොක්සයිඩ් සහ මීතේන් කියන එක ප්‍රධානතම සාධකයන්. ඉතින් අපිට මේ කුඩා පරිමාණයේ ව්‍යාපාර මධ්‍ය පරිමාණයේ ව්‍යාපාරවලදී මෙන්න මේක ඉතා සැලකිල්ලට දක්වන්න ගනු ලබන උත්සාහය ඒක සර්ටිෆිකේෂන් handbook එකක් හැටියට ඉදිරිපත් කිරීම මම හිතනවා ලොකු කාර්යයක්. ඉතින් ඒ වෙනුවෙන් වෙහෙසමාන්සි වූ සියලුම දෙනාට විශේෂයෙන්ම Planet Protect ආයතනයටත් අපේ ගරුතර සංඝරත්නය අපේ මාතර සිතාර්ථ හිමින්ටත් විශේෂයෙන්ම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. අපිත් එක්ක නිතරම ගනුදෙනු කරනවා, කතා බහ කරනවා. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා මේ සහයෝගීතාවය අපි දිගටම පරිසර අමාත්‍යාංශයේ විදිහට අපි ඉස්සරහට කරගෙන යමු. පරිසරය කියන්නේ පරිසර අමාත්‍යවරයාගේවත් පරිසර අමාත්‍යාංශයේවත් එකක් නෙමෙයි මේ රටේ මහ ජනතාවගේ. මේ ලෝකෙම ගත්තත් මේ ලෝකෙමත් එහෙමයි. පරිසරය කියන්නේ පාලකයාගේවත් එහෙම නැත්නම් නිෂ්පාදකයාගේවත් අයිතියක් නෙවෙයි. මේක හුදු සියලු සතා සිව්පාවගේ ඒ වගේම සියලුම මේ පරිසර පද්ධති වල ඉන්න ෆ්ලෝරා ඇන්ඩ් ෆෝනා සියලුම සතුන්ගේ මානව මිනිස්සු ඇතුළු සියලුම දෙනාගේ එකක් බවට අපි හිතන්න ඕනේ. ඒකේ තැනට පරිවර්තනය කරන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් මම හිතනවා ඒ වෙනුවෙන් අපි අපකප වෙමු. විශේෂයෙන්ම මේ ආයතනයේට විශේෂයෙන්ම නැවතත් මම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා. අලුතෙන් මේ වගේ දේවල් නිර්මාණය කිරීම මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් අලුතෙන් හිතන්න අපිට අලුත් මඟ පෙන්වීමක් අලුත් ඩිරෙක්ෂන් එකක් යෙදවීම සම්බන්ධයෙන් බොහොමත්ම ස්තුතියි මේ අවස්ථාව මට ආරාධනා කිරීමත් මේ අවස්ථාව ලබා දීමත් බොහොමත්ම ස්තුතියි. Thank you very much for all of you.
Honorable Anton Jayakodi. Now I invite Architect Jana Pereira on stage to present the token of appreciation to Honorable Anton Jayakodi. Please accept our token of appreciation. Thank you. Fides Harmonia Music Institution is a pioneering social project operating under the Nalanda Campus Foundation alongside Planet Protectors Organization. As a fully charitable initiative, Fides Harmonia provides comprehensive music education completely free of charge to students, including tuition, food, and accommodation. This unique institution embodies the Foundation's commitment to making quality education accessible to all, regardless of economic background. Through the universal language of music, Fides Harmonia nurtures young talent while promoting cultural enrichment and social harmony. The institution stands as a testament to the Nalanda Campus Foundation's vision of creating meaningful social impact through education and arts. Let's give a warm welcome for the entertainer for today. wonderful performance. We now move on to one of the anticipated segments of today's forum, the panel discussion. This moderated session brings together a distinguished panel of experts, industry leaders, and representatives who've been at the forefront of embedding sustainability within respective sectors. The discussion will also look at the enabling factors, policy, finance, and market incentives that can further empower SMEs to integrate sustainability into their core business strategies. To guide this conversation, we are pleased to have Engineer Sanjeev Dhananjana as the moderator of the session. Engineer Sanjeev Dhananjana acquires a BSc Engineering Honours in Civil Engineering from the University of Peradeniya and is a Project and Innovations Engineer at the GAP HQ. He is deeply involved in initiatives that connect academia, industry and sustainability. His work focuses on research, commercialization, data analytics integration, and AI applications in civil engineering. Sanjeev also contributes to leadership and education development under the UNIGAP, aspiring to blend technical excellence with strategic management to shape the future of higher education in Sri Lanka. Please join me in warmly welcoming our moderator. And now I hand over the session to be conducted by the moderator.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, till we get prepared with this, I'll start and I'll take a start for today's panel discussion. And so, throughout the day that we were talking about all the theories and why we are coming out with this planet certification handbook and why we need to do this and all. And now, our main objective behind this panel discussion is to give SMEs a practical guide on like facing the troubles and hardships when they are starting a business and so on. So this panel discussion is all about the practical issues and how we can overcome all those obstacles when we are starting something or else we are continuing what we are doing. So for that we have got the best panelists for this panel discussion. So it is my honor to invite all of these distinguished panelists to this very floor, this very platform, so that after our panel discussion, you all will be open this to the audience as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to send it to us, and we are more than happy to help you out with all the questions that you have with this certification, or else when you are going ahead with this SME in your companies and organizations. All right, so with that, I'll quickly elaborate on our panelists first. So starting off, we have none other than Professor Rangika Hallathura. Professor Rangika Hallathura is a pioneering academic and innovator in sustainable construction. He is a senior professor at University of Moratuwa in the Department of Civil Engineering. With over 2 decades of research, teaching and consulting experience, he has championed mud concrete technology, climate responsive design and eco-friendly urban infrastructure. His work has shaped national discussion, sustainability, education reform and environmental policy. He has served as Commissioner of the Sri Lankan Inventors Commission, member of the National Education Commission and Chairman of the Advisory Committee to the Urban Settlement and Development Authority, as well as on the Executive Committee on the International Federation of Inventors Associations. A chartered engineer and a green accredited professor, Professor Hallathura continues to inspire engineers to innovate responsibly and design for a greener, resilient future. Sir, it is my honor to invite you to the platform. And we have another distinguished guest who is Mr. Kirti Gunawardena. He is the president of the Federation of Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Sri Lanka. Mr. Gunawardena is a prominent business leader and entrepreneur who has significantly contributed to Sri Lanka's industrial and commercial sectors. He also serves as director and executive committee member of the SARC Chamber of Commerce and Industry, board member of the Sri Lanka Standards Institution and the Sri Lanka Convention Bureau, and trustee of the Construction Guarantee Fund. He is the chairman and managing director of Graphic Systems Private Limited and Graphic Systems International Limited, both nationally recognized for innovation and productivity. He has previously chaired ICC Sri Lanka, the SARC IT Council, and the Sri Lanka Association of Printers with academic qualifications in economics, business administration, and multimedia technology. He has received numerous honors, including the Pradeepa Pranama Award 2017 and Lifetime Achievement Award in 2018. It is my honor, Mr. Kirti, to invite you to this platform. And we have Mr. Upali Ratnayaka, former Deputy Director General, Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority. Mr. Ratnayaka brings nearly 3 decades of expertise in tourism development, policy and sustainability. He has served as Deputy Director General and Head of the Sustainable Tourism Unit of SLTDA, where he pioneered the National Sustainable Tourism Certification Program. He holds a BA in Economics from University of Colombo, postgraduate diplomas in tourism planning and marketing from Belgium and the Netherlands, and an MBA in travel tourism and hospitality management from the Prince of Songla University, Thailand. He has represented Sri Lanka in multiple global forums, co-trade of the Global Sustainable Tourism Council. We are more than happy to have you here, Mr. Bali. Warmly welcome you to the platform. And Mr. Nalin Karunatilaka is our next distinguished guest. He is the advisor to the Sustainable Banking Initiative, Sri Lanka's Bank Association. Mr. Karunatilaka is a sustainable and finance specialist with over 31 years of experience in development and investment banking. He recently retired as Vice President of Sustainability and Consulting at BFCC Bank, where he led the bank's 2020-2030 sustainability strategy, Green Climate Fund, initiatives and environmental social management system. He also headed BFCC Consulting Private Limited and played a key role in implementing SME-focused concessional loan schemes and World Bank funded renewable energy projects on behalf of the government of Sri Lanka. He currently serves as Director of Environmental Foundation Limited and as a member of the Climate Action Steering Committee of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. So we are happy to have you all here, so the stage is yours. Please have a seat. Please give them a huge round of applause as we welcome them on the platform. Right, I hope you are all ready, gentlemen. So with that, we can start the panel discussion with this moment itself. So thank you very much for again joining up with us today. And with this, we'll start with the round one. So we thought for the round one, we will go ahead with the what's holding SMEs back. Because that's what we always hear from SMEs all the time, that whenever we start something, it's very hard for us to continue. So with that, as we have always said, this is a practical segment. So we start with first Mr. Kirti Gunawardena in terms of trade and industry. So Mr. Kirti, in your experience working with SMEs through the CAMP chamber, what are the top 2 barriers preventing them from adopting sustainable practices? If we can take an initiative.
Yeah, sure. I think before I go to that, so when you are talking about the SMEs, especially the MSMEs, which contributes greatly to the economy. In terms of 75% business they generate. Even though 52% of the GDP So they are the main contributors to the economy. So if they do not understand the concept of sustainability, so then whatever initiatives that we are going to take is not going to work. So therefore, it is very, very important for us to educate the MSMEs. As Professor Kotama rightly mentioned, so there should be gift or punishment. So this is the way it works. Actually, if we encourage a kind of gifts to this kind of segments, so then they will really enter to this area. So the barriers they face are the limited access for finance, low awareness of technical capacity, inadequate infrastructure, and high initial investment they think has to be invested on to be towards the sustainable area. So they have the training and challenging turning challenges into opportunities. Also, they have a big issue in that area. So they are the very same people that they work with very low levels sometimes, but however, they contribute to the economy in a large scale. In a situation like that, so there are problems we have to understand clearly and find some solutions for them.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Gill, and I think you have raised a very practical question again, and with that I can turn to Mr. Nali of the financial aspect. So he has mentioned that we have difficulties with finance when it comes to adapting these sustainable practices into SMEs. So with that, what is your take on that, Mr. Nali?
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. As Mr. Keith Kunwadana nicely put it, and also Professor Kotagama before, the characteristic approach. And as you said, 52% of the GDP depends on SMEs. And I think the issue is that many of them are still unaware, right? And sustainability, many, especially after the economic crisis, we are still barely trying to keep our head above water just to survive SME. So sustainability was a sort of a desert or added thing that we don't have time for right now. It's good to have, but not we don't have money or time for it right now. To start breathing first, that was the attitude we had. And actually, the banks also, it was purely profit motives that we had all these years, but actually the banks got together in 2015 and came up with what we call the Sustainable Banking Initiative. And so these are 10th year. That was the 2015 was the year that the Paris Agreement was also signed. And the banks came to a pledge. We had 11 principles that we will all work together, we will develop the sector, we will first try to green ourselves, then we will also try to green our customers, and also more importantly, we will not have a race to the bottom. So one thing is we are also talking about these characteristics, we are talking about the government setting the policy. So the policy framework is sort of the rules and the regulations. So sometimes the government also does not have enough opportunity to, time, money, to resources to enforce these rules. So the banks have also now got used to working with the government to ESMS framework. So we are trying to push our more customers towards this angle, and we are finding money. So previously the government, actually the taxpayer of Sri Lanka, subsidized World Bank loans and ADB loans, give loans to subsidized loan for SMEs, and many of that is say for example the e-friends credit line has been there for the last 30 years, from 1995 onwards. Japanese assistance now done by the Minister of Industry. So it has been a 6.5% for the last 30 years. When the interest rates were 20%, this loan scheme was 6.5% for pollution control, for energy efficiency, for production efficiency. There are schemes like that, and even SME schemes that we have, which come at relatively cheap rates, 6.5%, 8% from the ADB, we can use that for sustainability aspects. What is very popular right now is like solar system on your roof. Some people have put so much solar system that that at one point they were getting enough money, they didn't even have to run the business. They were getting enough cash at one point. And that was the only thing that was functioning during the COVID period, and only thing that was generating cash during COVID and even during economic crisis, right? But solar is not enough. We need to do our part. Just put you might put your solar system and then keep your air conditioner on and keep your door open. You need to reduce your energy efficiency, and that is a big thing. You can even forget the climate aspect for the moment and forget purely from a profit, purely from a selfish point of view. You can just reduce your costs by having energy efficiency and production efficiency, right? So that reduces increases your bottom line immediately. So when you can demonstrate that to a bank, banks want to give loan. Our business is, we take your money and lend it to somebody else and we keep it up, right? So the more loans that we give, the more money we can make. So it's not that banks don't want to give loans. We need to find a way of giving a loan so that we can get it back from you and give it back again to our depositor, right? So we need to see that we can get the money back. That's all that matters. So what you need to do is, if you don't have that expertise, dialogue is here. You can, there are energy services companies. You can get expertise from these companies and find out how to reduce your electricity bill, how to reduce your energy consumption. There are other experts who can come up with a proposal for you. So if you can come up with a proper proposal, which makes it understandable to a bank. You have to expect that bankers are not experts in many of these aspects, right? So you have to understand yourself, and then you can say, for example, you can use this. This is a good guide. You have this. You start picking the boxes. You know where your gaps are, right? So when you understand your business well, when you feel this, and you can show this to the bank, and that will make it easy for the banks to give, because banks want to give loans. And very soon, probably when the economy improves, it's already improved, when the economy improves or more, the government's help causes we can obtain, and we can get loans from the World Bank and so forth, and then we can be on our way. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Nalin. And with that, another industry that contributes a lot to the GDP is the construction industry, if it is maintained properly. So I think with that, we can go to Professor Nangika Halvatana for this. So Professor, many small contractors and builders say that green construction sounds expensive or unrealistic with the current market prices. So from your experience, what practical steps that they can take right now build more sustainability and at the same time without increasing project costs in a significant way?
Thanks, Sanjeev. I don't know whether the contractors are called as SME or as MSME or businesses. But going to your question, I have two things to say. One is the difference between SME and SMB. So when it comes to if it is business, well, it will be SMB. Now we are talking about SME and MSME. But the businesses, if you take the businesses into the picture, the businesses will never fail, but the business model can fail. So and at the same time, the businesses are always profit oriented, but the enterprises are not really profit oriented. All the enterprises are the businesses, but the enterprises are mainly the livelihood and developing the ground. So when it comes to the sustainability concepts, I mean, your point is whether to bring how to bring the sustainability down. It's expensive. Once again, another point we need to is well, is it business into the sustainability or sustainability is into the business? When it's the business into the sustainability, yes, it's really expensive. I mean, you talked about all these the buildings, the structures. He was talking about the solar. I mean, those are all expensive factors. That's really, to me, it's basically taking business into the sustainability. But if you really want to bring the sustainability into the business, maybe construction or maybe whatever the discipline you are talking, if you are to bring the sustainability into the business, I think it's so cheap. But the thing is, when it comes to the real sustainable definitions and the sustainable story, we have misinterpreted we have misinterpreted the definition. I mean, it's not really to going to the UN Sustainable Development. It's not really to go back to the cave era, go to the caves and have some leaves and spend the days there. That's not sustainability. You can enjoy your life to the maximum. You can do anything under the sun to make you happy, but don't ever compromise the ability of the next generation to have their satisfaction. So if that is the real definition of sustainability, you count any action what we do as a contractors or engineers or whatever the discipline we do, are they really sustainable? So we call them sustainable because we are trying to bring the business into the sustainability. But if you think about the other way, you try to bring the sustainability into the business. I mean, there are so many ways. You start with the construction. Well, I mean, why you have the, while giving all due respect to Professor Kotakam, he just left out. He was standing there. So he was telling the same story. I mean, is it how we are going to redefine the structure, redefine the model? It's not really well. In simple the term, it's not really bringing the business into the sustainability into the business. There are so many ways and avenues where you can easily make the business or the enterprise or the construction industry sustainable. You take the construction materials. I feel the sustainable materials, so I mean not the business sustainable material, but the real sustainable material, they're so cheap. But unfortunately, we have forgotten that particular concept and we brought the business into the sustainability and say, well, I mean, it's so expensive. We are dealing with so many expensive words now. Take the carbon, the crediting, the greenhouse gas, those are all expensive terms. But the sustainability is on the ground. But unfortunately, we have forgotten the real base, the foundation, and we call this sustainability. It's expensive. No, that's not really expensive. So cheap. But unfortunately, we are not really willing to believe the sustainability, the real sustainable definition.
Yeah, I think that was a true eye-opener for everyone in the construction industry. With that, we're going to take a look at the tourism industry as well, which is now we are hearing a lot of concepts like MICE tourism, agro-tourism and all. So with that, I think this is another place that we have to look into when we talk about the sustainability and especially the SMEs or MSMEs. So my question goes to Mr. Bali. The question is, tourism MSMEs like guest houses, small resorts, tour operators are facing post-crisis recovery and new environmental expectations. So how do they keep up?
Again, let me thank Green Building Council actually bringing this kind of valuable sustainability certification into the industry. Particularly thankful for selecting tourism industry also in this discussion. The reason is at present, when we look at, before answering to your question, actually what among the many challenges, one key challenge that we are facing in our country right now as economy, we need about 20 billion USD for our imports. From the expatriate or other people working overseas, we earn about 7 billion. Whereas all exports bring about 4.5 to 5 billion. Altogether, if it is 7 plus 5, it will be about 12. And then come to tourism, which earn about 3 billion. And out of these sources, which has the high potential of securing the gap between 20 and maybe 12 plus 3 is 15. So there is about 5 to 6 gap in our economy, which is the biggest challenge we are facing, and also it continues. And plus to that, you have the loans as well. So in such a situation, tourism industry is having a high promise, as well as the global opportunity is very high, in which when we are getting ready as a country, our total tourism industry, about 60 to 65% represent the SMEs. And also, all we know, the challenge that we face during COVID and affected not only the direct service providers, but indirectly because it's supply chain connectivity with other sectors of the economy. So in that, bringing this sustainability concept into the SME sector in tourism, how would be the future? When you look at the, whether it's SME or whatever the business, your customer is the most important thing, and then bringing the benefit, how would you formulate your business model is also something matters here. But bringing this SME sector into the sustainability, when you have the certification or other this kind of initiative for the future, more than benefiting our environment as well as the industry, there is a marketing opportunity. Securing them, of course, when they have the financial difficulty, maybe some method of helping them in the short term is a good thing. But in the long term, what need to help you is the market. On the market, the customer perception of the selection or the preference today is toward the sustainability. Everyone loves the nature, and also if you can be kind of satisfied on my holiday, so there is no harms to the environment, there is a benefit to the community, and so forth, so they will be happy. And if you look at a little bit statistics in 2019, total expenditure value of sustainability related by tourism or tourism is about $1 trillion, which is projected to grow at 23.4% towards 2023. So in that, whether it's SME or MSME, all have this future opportunity. As an industry which has the highest consumption pattern as well as the consumption of resources as well as energy, these initiatives greatly help not only the resource base but also to the country and also to capture the market opportunity. This is how the platform what we see from the tourism sector.
Right, thank you very much. So with that, we'll quickly go on to the second round because we are waiting with your questions as well. So now is a very interesting part when it comes to entrepreneurship. What we always do is we come up with solutions for our problems. So now this segment is called turning problems into opportunities. So the rightful topic for all the businessmen, the entrepreneurs. So when we're talking about taking opportunities, so I wanted to start with Professor Rankika here, because with research and innovation are often seen as something only big companies or universities can afford, with grants and all the funds that they can afford with. So how can small and medium contractors or any organization actually benefit from research or new technologies in a way that improves their bottom line?
Well, thanks, Ajay. Well, when you talk about SMEs and the bottom level of the enterprises, one within the societies, I mean, they can't reach the universities. Well, you take the Sri Lankan university, very unfortunate. I mean, yes, they can't reach. The former vice chancellor of University of Monitor is there. But anybody who doesn't have who doesn't belong to the cream of the country, the gates are closed. Well, that's about Sri Lankan universities. But if you talked about the university system, I always believe the universities are supposed to create knowledge and disseminate the knowledge, whether it's SME or the bigger the businesses. We should create the knowledge and that should reach the correct community. At the same time, the universities are not supposed to do enterprises, they're not supposed to do businesses, but they should make a stable sale for the businesses to compensate. That's what the university should do. They should make the platform. They should provide the technology. They should give enough information to the industry for them to question the universities and also use the technology. So that's what the university should do. So when it comes to the linking the SMEs and the universities, there are two-way process. One is the SMEs also should be able to understand what they will be able to get from the universities. It's not like going to a university, meeting a professor, doing a research and doing or posing a question what they have. But there are so many opportunities now. Let's say the university, the state universities all the gates are closed for the SMEs and the general public, but still, yet there are a lot of publications and the research done at the universities, and there are a lot of testing facilities available at the universities for them to use them and improve the industry. That's one side of the story. The other side, the universities, we have a strong responsibility towards the development of the SME and the industry altogether. Many of the university rooms, I mean, there are many within this audience. We create research problems overnight. So we create the problem and we try to solve the problem, and we forcefully try to send the found information, the found solution to the industry, saying, okay, look, I mean, I have found something, you should use it. Let's say that particular is the solution is not viable. We force the government, look, I mean, I have found something, you fund us, and with the funding we impose that to the public or to the business. And once the funding is taken out, the technology or whatever the finding will die then and there. If we can, if the university people, especially the staff and the students both, I mean not really, we can't focus the staff, it should be both staff and students. If you can, if we can get the question from the society, from the industry, whether it's the medium or a small or large, whatever the scale, if you can get the problem from there, we have the facility. You link it with all the other places. It can be multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary or working in a great team. You solve the problem, and you have a market, already created market for that particular solution. It's not really forceful. They're waiting, they're urging to have that particular solution. So if you can do that, whether it's small scale or medium or micro level, system will run because you are solving something which the market wants now. If not, if you create something overnight, you get the problem, and we are with especially with the sustainability or the business into the sustainability, what we do is we create thousands of problems and get thousands of answers and do another thousands of PhD to find the best option and say, look, I mean, I found something, you use it. That should not be the way. You get the question from the society, you solve it, and give that to the public again. They are urging, they are waiting for the solution. So that's what we should do. There are two-way responsibilities. Part of the responsibilities belongs to the enterprise. They should read the university to understand what they have. At the same time, the university people, they should read the community. So the mutual the connection between the community and the university is a must for us to develop the sector.
Exactly. Thank you very much for that insight. I think that will be very helpful for everyone who is seeking for knowledge, because university is a place where we disseminate knowledge to, as Professor has correctly mentioned. Because even from my experience also, very recently I've seen this design code. It says that the design code itself won't give you all the details, but if you refer to more literature, then you'll have enough information to design your building or the design that you're going to go with. So yeah, so I mean, literature is not there just to find the research gap; it's there for us to use as well. So I think Professor has gave us a really good way. And another point is that you have to mingle with the universities, and even at these kind of networking spaces and then kind of forums and all. So if you have raising these questions, we can send these to universities and they will get aware of all of these questions that are happening in the society as well. So I think we have laid a foundation for that even today itself as well. So with that, we'll go ahead with the second question for Mr. Kirti in terms of trade and industry. So for this, how can the trade associations help members convert sustainability into a selling point?
Thank you. That's a good question. I believe the associations, chambers, other organizations are directly linked with the members. So therefore, we do in different forms, like we educate the businesses to have ISO certification, various certifications. We promote them because it is now today in the world. If you take Europe and most of the organization, if you take the retail chains there, 70% of the organizations they look for they require some kind of environmental or social compliance document from the suppliers. So if we are talking large number of exports, to improve the exports within the next couple of years, so we should be ready, or rather we should be training the small and medium organizations and even the micro organizations to have some kind of compliance. Now, as he mentioned correctly, sometimes when you use a lot of big words like carbon footprint to various things, so our smaller guys get scared. So this is the problem. I think now the initiative what you have taken, this booklet is a good move. So we had some time back in our association federation under the scheme, it's called SMED, Small and Medium Enterprise Development. So there we did a similar one. So what we did was, it's a kind of a checklist where we give it to the businesses and we train them. No need extensive training also, but step by step what to do. So we tell them, do this for some time. So then after that, go for the next step. So like that, when you do, eventually they are becoming automatically compliant with the sustainability, not knowing that they are doing a great thing of with lot of big words and all that. So you have to make it simple for the people to understand, the businesses to understand this concept. The bottom line is, if they basically, if you see, like sometimes still we know most of the businesses still think when you are talking about sustainability, it's about investing a lot of money. Which now, if they change the lighting system in a factory, so they can save at least about 20 to 30% on the electricity bills. So these kind of things can be explained in a better way, in a checklist kind of a thing, rather than explaining in a bigger style or rather a difficult mode. Now when you talk about the ISO certifications, what is required for environment compliance, there again people has they are a little scared to look at even those documents. It's a huge process. Now to simplify the process, if we also can have this kind of things, and especially as Professor Patagama said, so this has to be converted to single also, because most of the MSMEs are singular speaking and singular working people. So therefore, if we can do like that, surely as an organization like us, we can come forward and promote this idea finally, so the businesses will benefit, and as a country we will benefit, because your energy bill will go down, all kinds of different productivity levels can go up, and in the meantime, now today the concept in the world is, if you're doing a business, they are looking at how you're even getting your raw material from, where you're getting. Now especially in the garment area, mainly they look at how the product is coming to you. So even it has gone up to that extent. So therefore, if we can educate the small people, and Sri Lanka has a bigger issue, because the MSMEs are not developed really. So therefore, the small and medium organizations also not getting some feedback from them, or rather a supply chain from them. So if we go step by step, MSME to SME like that, so then all the sectors will have a continuous growth, and in the meantime we can achieve sustainability.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Keel. And with that, we can go to Mr. Pali in terms of tourism. What's the market edge for MSMEs in tourism that commit to measurable sustainability?
Thank you for the question. Actually, in tourism industry, what important is having understood current situation, how we move forward the future. And we all know, with this online booking engine, and also various online platforms and the social media. Now, in the past, in the tourism, is very famous B2B, business to business. Today, it's more towards the business to consumer. So in that, there is another development. Our major markets are the East Asia and the European countries. And when it comes to European Union from 2026 onward, so there are the sensitivity to the green initiative is going to be a mandate. So where the two operators and also the consumers is going to request more than their own willingness, how you are sensitive to the sustainability, or maybe geared towards sustainability, or maybe having the sustainable certificate. So it will be a marketing tool. And same with countries like Japan and also East Asian. Some of the countries are kind of in early stage of understanding this, and also the regulations probably come in the future. But of course, when you look at the major generating market to Sri Lanka is the European countries. Even today, after India, it is the UK, Germany, France, and then comes the Russia. So then only the East Asian countries coming in. So all these markets are kind of getting distributed, not from the big players to the small players as well. As I mentioned, using the booking engines and the social media, so they access the market. Yeah, the consumer as well as the travel agencies who operate overseas demanding sustainability initiative because of the consumer request. So there will be an advantage our switching into this. So that is one side. On the other side, we got to understand we are in a smaller country. This is an industry, as I mentioned before, high consumption. If I look at the water, it's about 3 times high from an ordinary person to a tourist. Energy is about 4.5 times high. And the waste disposal, again, from an ordinary person to a tourist, in average, 1.2 kilograms of waste generally generated by a tourist. So likewise, it's a high impacted industry into all the sources that we are referring at. So in that, if I put all the points together, securing the resource base as well as our own energy base, sustainability is going to give a solution, and in that the net benefit going to be much better in the future. So that all SMEs need to understand, as Professor mentioned. So their awareness is a major question. Raising this awareness into the SME sector, particularly in the tourism, it's a challenge. Unless if they understand your market towards the sustainability, your future retains with the sustainability, and also for you to be sustainable with all other players, they got to trust and they got to understand not only the trust and liking, but also the contributory of profitability. So that is a challenge. So this kind of a knowledge, if we disseminate in the language that they understand into the trust, or rather their balance sheet is showing that it is profitable, so we will be in a winning side. And likewise, the development in the market, and also our own requirement, and also overall the total impact. What we are talking is total impact to minimize. As a sector who has a very high consumption as well as the kind of impact, so we got to get this sector ready, which is our challenge. So likewise, capturing the opportunity and also the heading towards the country requirement, as well as the meeting the foreign exchange kind of a requirement to the economy. How we gear up, how we tune up, how we keep the ready the SME sector is a challenge that we all got to get ready, or other kind of a get together. Maybe the education organization and also the environment kind of a friendly organization like the Building Council, Chamber of Commerce. So we all need to get together. The other important thing is, in the tourism sector, we are an interdependent sector. Though we want to do a sustainable product, when it is a travel agent, how can he hire a vehicle which is sustainability running? How can he select a hotel which is sustainability maintained? If my tourists expect public transport in a sustainable manner, do we have it? It's a question. So, and also the energy generation. Even today, though we have the solar and all those things, larger portion of energy is generated thermal power. So that's the fact. So all these infrastructure segment as well as the various supportive segment need to be geared for the tourism to be sustainable, whether it's SME or what. And on the other side, they are again like supply chain. So how the food has come to the hotel, how the detergent or probably the whole linen or whatever the thing come on the floor rather than on the supply chain to the hotel matters, because hotel you cannot produce all those things. The supply chain development, like organization like Handbook can help greatly, ultimately help us. So tourism sector to be sustainable. So likewise, we got to look at the bigger picture than the smaller picture. So with which we'll be able to, take the tourism sector, the SME sector in the tourism towards the sustainability.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kali. I think he has raised a very important aspect, which is it is an interconnected effort here. Like if you can share this knowledge to your colleagues, your peers, it will be very easy for us to expedite this sharing of knowledge. So please do and help us to share this knowledge with each and every one of you. So with that, another thing, like when we're talking about sustainability, if you take it as a pillar like this, environmental sustainability, another pillar that we definitely can't forget is the finance sustainability. So the question that I have for Mr. Nalin is, what practical financial opportunities do you see for MSMEs that embrace sustainability?
Mr. Pali and he also spoke now, say banks are also integral pillar of the part of this ecosystem, because we are working with so many MSMEs and they work with them from early beginnings even up to when they grow. And one thing is we have to also understand the new landscape, right? The banks now, we have all the sustainable finance roadmap issued by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Then we have the green finance taxonomy. Then the Chartered Accountants Institute have issued IFRS S1 and S2 reporting standards for all the top companies. Eventually, and right now, the currently by top company eventually to percolate down to all the listed companies and then to the SMEs also. So basically, according to S1 and S2, we need to understand the climate risks and opportunities, and the carbon footprints has been measured by the banks, right? And the sustainable finance roadmap is encouraging banks to report their green lending portfolio. So there is a taxonomy. Taxonomy is basically a classification like what we learned in botany, right? So to classify all the types of projects, what is feasible, what is eligible under the taxonomy and what is not in the taxonomy. So what is in the taxonomy, we need to identify and count it, and every quarter we report it to the central bank. So there are certain good initiatives that project can do. We can count it as a green loan, and then the banks get brownie points, right? So that's like Professor Kottagama's example. The bank gets an award, right? This bank has done so many. Now my former bank, we had a target. We had only counted initially about 10 billion rupees worth of green loans. Then last year we brought it to about 20 billion. We made a target by 2030 to make it 100 billion. So 100 billion worth of loans should be green. Now DFC's total loan portfolio was about 500 billion. So say if it goes to 1 trillion, it should be about 10%. Now total banks in Sri Lanka right now, only 1% of loans are green basically, right? Or we have like 22 trillion loans, only about 250 billion are green loans, right? So we really need to count these loans. So banks are looking to give as many loans as possible. So one thing is we need like books like this, right? Now we when a customer comes for a loan, we give a KYC form. There is a KYC form and know your customer, and we find out all about the customer. So very soon we will have to give this type of form to a customer and ask them to fill it, and we'll have to find out your customer due diligence, right? And we'll have to mark them. Just like this mark 1 to 4, we might have to mark this customer as 1 to 4, and we might have to we are also incentivized to give as many loans as possible, right? So we might want to work with these customers. So if they have a 4 rating, maybe we can give a better rate for these customers, and especially for customers who are trying to make an effect. First year they started with 1 or 2, but next year they're actually trying to make a concept to make it 3 and 4. So I think you should share this with all of us, and we should then hand it to each of our customers, right? We need a base paper and print it on a paper. We can do it in a soft form and then fill it up. And banks can use this document. So it's a journey, right? We can't just say yes or no, black and white, right? We won't be carbon neutral in 2050, right? So at least we have to have a plan to get step-by-step approach. So we need to do that. So that is one aspect. And then so banks, that is from climate change. There is another, lot of people haven't heard of what you call, we all know about the Paris Agreement. There is thing for the Kunming-Montreal Biodiversity Framework in 2022. I mean, that is all about biodiversity and saving the environment. That has really not got into the, the discourse yet, especially in Sri Lanka. But I mean, those rules always start coming in. And the bank should have to then start measuring, looking at customers in terms of the biodiversity frameworks, not only climate change. So then we'll have to start evaluating customers on that basis. One big problem banks have right now is we are talking about carbon measurement. So under the new scheme for banks, we have to count the financed emissions, right? So every single loan that we give, we need to calculate the financed emissions, right? So by 2027, now DFCC is a small bank. My former bank, we had only about 60,000 business customers. The Bank of Ceylon has about maybe 6 million, right? We have 60,000 business customers. We need to know the carbon footprint of every single business loan that we give. We need to measure it, right? So, and to avoid double counting, we need to link it to the loan. Say the loan is 10 million rupees, we are given 70% of the loan. So we can count only that 70% of that company's carbon emission. So we have to link it to the loan system. So it's quite a nightmare for us actually, getting all the data, because these are companies don't have proper records, and so forget the carbon footprint. The financial records are sometimes not very clear, right? So we have to link this company. We have to look at their production process, then look at the emission factor for the production process, and more importantly, count what is the production volume. Is it either revenue or volume? So we need to start counting that information and getting that. And then for high carbon emitters, banks might be disincentivized to give loans to them. And low carbon emitters, if people are reducing the loan, they might give more loans. So those are the emerging trends in terms of the carrots and sticks. So hopefully we can give some better carrots by giving better rates.
Right. Right, so thank you very much for all those insights. And then now, up until now, we were talking about the hardships that we face, what's holding MSMEs back, and then how to turn these problems into opportunities. Now we'll talk about going with the way forward. So what is the way forward now? So this is open for all the panelists, so the same question for everyone. We start with Professor Rangigi here. So the question is, if you could give one piece of advice to MSMEs listening today, who want to start their green journey, what would it be, sir?
One message in a lazy manner. Okay. Well, now the first thing, we have to understand where are we now. We are not at the first or the second or the third industrial revolution. We are the fifth generation now. It's not about the steam engine. It's not about the electricity. It's not about even the computer. It's not about even. It's not about even AI. We have gone beyond after 2020. We are in the fifth industrial revolution. That's personalizing. That's really personalizing. If you can brand yourself, if you can brand your company, brand your industry, brand your enterprise, you are there. You just take Professor Kotagama, even though he's not there, you just take his the figure. You just cut his hair, drink his the beer. You change the dress. He looks like a real joker. But because the reason is he has created his brand. He's through his personal the appearance, he created his brand, and he created the wealth with the brand for the rest of the world. He's not really doing any business. He's a real entrepreneur, marketing his brand itself. He created the wealth for the nation, for the community. It's basically he's taking the message across the Indian Ocean and going to the rest of the world as well. Mr. Ashley was there. Same thing. You just trim the beard and cut the hair. He will be totally different. He will not be able to recognize as Mr. Ashley. So likewise, I mean, you have to understand now the world trend is personalizing. You need to brand yourself. The target is the upstream. It's not the downstream, as he clearly stated. I mean, it's upstream. අපි සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ මේ උඩුගම් බලා පිනනවා කියන්නේ only බුදුහාමුදුරුවෝ විතරයි මම දන්න තරමට පාත්‍රය උඩට දාලා උඩට ගිය බුදු වෙනවා කියන එක ඒක තේරුම් ගන්න. It's very difficult to go upstream now. We all have to understand the real reality. අපිට කරන්න තියෙන්නේ මේ වෙලාවේ individually or as a company or as an enterprise අපි යමු මේ යන වතුර පාරේ මේ මහා සැඩ පාරේ ගහගෙන ගිහලා හොඳ යුරක් හොයාගමු. Once you reach the Eura, if you know the target is upstream. If you know the target properly, you can take the Eura to walk towards the upstream target. So that's what I could say. I don't know whether how many SMEs will be able to understand, but that's exactly what we should do, or rather, at least we should promote that.
Right. Thank you very much, Professor. Mr. Kirti, your take on this?
Yes. Of course, I also think that as from the chamber point of view, if I speak, we have to encourage the smaller businesses to somehow, get into the sustainability area, because what happens is the whole world is looking at that in the future. So therefore, if the like organization like us, so we can really promote this. But the only thing is, since we have a diverse clientele, or rather the customers, as he very rightly said, we are trying to teach them the sustainability, but they do not have a basic account set also properly. But I also got involved with the tourism value chain supporting. There we had a nice project with SOIG, the skills for inclusive growth. So there again, we managed to educate many smaller companies, which they managed to understand what it is. We can teach them, but only thing is not with kinds of very high kind of vocabulary. So we have to make it more simple. Go to the very basics of the sustainability and teach them those things by step approach. So that approach will definitely work, and that can finally benefit the whole country.
Right. Thank you very much, and Mr. Bali, you take on this.
Message to the SMEs actually, whether it's individual or a small organization, your business is for profitability. And so we can confidently tell the SMEs that your future customer is looking for sustainability initiative. So to be a winner in your market, you got to get ready yourself with your product and the services with sustainability. To do that, so we have facilitated with a self-assessment system, which is a very simple 10 criteria at the start, and it gives you it's open source. Switching into the SMED website, anyone can assess their sustainability status. It comes in between 0 and 100. So if it is over 50, our advice is they can maybe check or other can try for certification like this, or maybe some of the certification, so that they can secure the certificate. So likewise, for you to understand where you are, and also for you to try again and again and improve yourself. And in between, we all together need to start raising awareness. And this is also a very good forum to raise awareness. I think all this knowledgeable crowd, even to a 1% or 2% can tell this message. The future of the tourism is sustainability. So therefore, anyone looking for successful business, at least 10-15% or maybe 50-60%, we'll have to have a sustainable initiative. So that is the message for you to be successful. So we got to have some of the other sustainability initiatives, whereas our request from the financial sector, not only this making an effort for the by the SME, but also the financial sector. When they support, at least there must be some sort of preferential or maybe some sort of a motivational rate where when I become sustainable, so what benefit do I get by paying less? And also from the government, still we are too young to charging high taxes. We are very good, but again, the one who practice sustainability will have to have some sort of a kind of a concession with that, so we can support, and they will sensitive to that, and with that there will be a kind of journey start, because sustainability is not yes and no, it is a journey. We start somewhere, we reach somewhere, even the certification, bronze, silver, gold and the platinum, the rating are there. Likewise, we got to get the people into the journey and give the confidence that they will have a successful future. That's the message I have for them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bal and Mr. Nali. Take off this.
Mr. Bal was talking about banks giving preferential rates. Actually, a lot of banks actually have sort of green loan schemes, right? I mean, they might give a small preferential rate, maybe 0.5% or 1%, but many of them, I told you we have the green target, so many of them will have a green loan scheme where they will reduce the rate, right? So that's from the current point of view, but from the strict point of view, say in my bank, in my previous bank, at least we put a rule where we have also put some strict sourcing. Now we have noticed that some of our customers were not getting their EPS renewed, their environmental protection licenses, right? So we have sent them repeated reminders, please get the license renewed, and so sometimes they have, due to various reasons, not done it. Others, sometimes, the CE has given them an environmental management plan and they are not stuck to the plan, and they are not, so they can't get the new renewal because they are not done, maybe they are not put the effluent treatment plant in place or whatever. So now we have actually put it in a loan condition. If the EPS is not obtained within a specific period of time and the EPS is not renewed within a specific period of time, the interest rate is going to be increased by 0.5%, 1%. So we have a rule in our, so we are giving preferential rates for customers who are, being, good citizens of the planet, basically, right? I mean, the minister also said that this environment is not something for the minister or for the Minister of Environment. I actually disagreed with Dr. Kotagama when he said, you're talking about extended producer responsibility, that it is entirely the producer's responsibility. It is not entirely the producer's responsibility, it is also the consumer's responsibility also. Right? The producer might make a biscuit packet and wrapper, if we go to any of us throw the wrapper into the drain or on the road, rather than taking it home and dispose of it safely, that is our problem. That is our fault. We can't blame the producer, but for creating a plastic bag. So we are all in this together, right? I mean, everybody, the government, the producer, the consumer. As he said, we have to, definition of sustainability is, keeping the world ready for the next generation. It's not only, we are also still talking about we are thinking of the next human generation, right? We are thinking of, to think of all living beings on this planet, right? So we have to think of every living organism in this planet when we are behaving. So I think first thing we all have to behave in a considerate manner, right? When whatever we do, we need to just, basic religion, right? How to behave considerately, Sri Lankan sometimes, we might learn a lot about religion and we might be proud of our religion, but the way we drive on our road, the way Sri Lankan drive, it doesn't seem to have got into their head. That is, maybe it's male thing, we assume that 80% of the drivers in this country are males, and maybe there is too much aggression in the system, but we generally rarely behave in a considerate manner, we don't, if you see a vehicle try to get onto the road or try to make a turn, nobody will stop, right? Or forget another vehicle, the poor pedestrian, the poor old lady who is 70-year-old lady who tried to cross the road at a pedestrian crossing, how many of us will actually stop at a pedestrian crossing for this lady to cross, right? So we need to, once we bring this element of consideration about fellow human beings, we just have to extend it to the planet, right? Once we start thinking like that, then the question of, maybe I'm thinking in a religious term because I see so many members of the family here, but we have to think in terms of that aspect. So then, even if it's a cost, right? Even if it's a cost, and we are talking about dana, right? Dana means we are trying to give away something. We are giving something that we have, right? So even if the cost is good for the planet and something good for human beings, we should be ready to make that initial sacrifice. It's not a massive sacrifice, but as I said, it's actually not a sacrifice because it will benefit us in the future. It will benefit our generation. It will benefit our friends and colleagues and our business. So there might be a cost, but we need to understand that cost also has a benefit, right? I mean, energy efficiency, if you put a more efficient air conditioning system, you can recover your cost in a few years' time, right? But that initial cost you need to spend, but you need to understand that cost has it's not could be just throwing money into the river, right? You can get your money back, right? How far to get back to the issue, but even if it's a slight cost more than above, I think we have to learn this question of being considerate and thinking of our fellow living organisms in this universe. And anyway, it's a long journey, as I mentioned. All of us have to be in it together. We can't do big things at the same time, but we can start small steps. Even growing a tree in your garden, just small things, but get in that mindset, and then we get together and we can grow together and achieve all our goals.
Right, thank you very much, Mr. Navin. And I think we can go for a quick round of questions here, one or two if our time permits. So please raise your hand if you have any questions. This is the right time for you to raise your hands.
Green building හදනවා. මෙතනගේ question එක. ඒකෙන් පස්සේ ඒක maintain කරන කට්ටිය මොනවද කරන්නේ? Green building එක තියා ගන්නවාද ඒගොල්ලෝ green building ද? ඒ කියන්නේ ගියාතු ගන්න කොස්තක් ඕන. ඉතල හදුවා මේ අපේ ගෙඩි සල්ලලා මේක කරලා දැන් කීලාගේ කොස්ත නැත්නම් අපේ ගෙවත් අතු ගා ගන්න විදියක් නැහැ. කොච්චර ප්‍රමාණයක් ප්ලාස්ටික් යනවා. ඊළඟට ඉස්කෝල හදනවා ළමයි දෙනවා කොච්චර බෝල් පොයින්ට් පෑන් ගන්නක් විදි කරනවාද? ඉතින් ඒ පැත්ත ගැන අපිට මම කතා කරන්නේ මේ green building එකේ තියෙන මේකක්වත් කෝඩ් එකේ මේකක් ගැන නෙවෙයි. මෙතන පරිසරය රැක ගන්නවා. ඒතකොට green building එකේ නමවත් රකින්නවද? ඒක ආර්යයන් ජීවිතේ ගත කරන්නේ නැත්නම්. ඒකට මොකක්ද තියෙන උත්තරේ? ඉතරක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඉස්කෝල වල බෝල් පොයින්ට් පෑන් කීයක් විදි කරනවද මාසෙකට? ඊළඟට මේ අනිත් එක තියෙන්නේ මොකද්ද ඔය කොස්ත කීනක කොස්ත නැත්නම් අපේ මිනිස්සුන්ට ගියා ගන්න බෑ අපේ මිනිස්සු මේ ලෙඩ කරන මේ පොවලින් ගියා ගන්න ඒ තිබුණා ඉතල දැන් ඒක නැති කරා රේදිය ඒක ඕකට අපේ පරිසර අමාත්‍යාංශය ගන්න පියවර මොකක්ද මෙතන මේ ග්‍රීන් බිල්ඩින් වලට අදාළවම නෙවෙයි මේක මොකද
මෙහෙමයි පුංචි උත්තරයක් දී යුතු නමුත් පැනල් එකට ප්‍රශ්නයක් ආවොත් උත්තරයක් නොදී ඉදිරියෙන් එතන ප්‍රශ්නයක් ගැන හින්දා පරිසර අමාත්‍යාංශ කවුරුත් නැහැ නමුත් මම සමාජයේ කොටසක් විදිහට මම කිව්වොත් ඒක මම හිතන්නේ නෑ ග්‍රීන් බිල්ඩින් එකේ වැරද්දක් කියලා. චීන කොස්ත ගේනවා කියන එක ඒක ගෙන්නන්නේ ආයේ මිනිස්සු.
මම කියන්නේ ඒක ග්‍රීන්
නෑ ඒක තමයි මම කියන්නේ. මම කියන්නේ මම උත්තරේ දෙන්න හදේ වෙන විදිහකට ඒකට. ඒ අපි පෑන පාවිච්චි කරලා බෝල් පොයින්ට් පෑන වීසි කරනවා කියන එකත් ආයෙත් ඒක සිස්ටම් එකේ වැරදකටත් තරම් මෙතන ගැටලුව තියෙන්නේ සස්ටේනබිලිටි ගැන අපි කතා කරාට තාම අපේ ඇඟ ඇතුළට මේක ගිහිල්ලා නැහැ. يعني මේක තාම අපි මේක අපේ ෆැෂන් එකක් වෙලා නැහැ. මේක අපේ ඇටිටියුඩ්ස් වලට ගිහිල්ලා නැහැ. ඒක එහෙම නැතුව අර මම කොටකමක් කියපු දැන් මේක මේ අපේ ජෙනරේෂන් එකේ කරපු වැරද්දක් අපි හදාගන්න උත්සාහ කරනවා මිසක් ඊළඟ ජෙනරේෂන් එකට ඇඟිල්ල දික් කිරීලක් නෙවෙයි. මම මේකේ කන්සෙප්ට් එක ඇතුලේ අපි ඔක්කොමල්ලම වගකීම යුතුයි. අපි ඔක්කොමල්ලම මේ පුංචි අපේ අර තියෙන සාමූහික සමාජ වගකීම කියන කතාවට equal social responsibility. ඔන්නෝක කරනවා නම් මම හිතන්නේ ඔය ප්‍රශ්න එකක්වත් පැන නැගෙන්නේ නැති වෙයි කියලා හිතනවා. මම දන්නවා ඒකට උත්තරේ ඒක නෙමෙයි කියන එක. නමුත් උත්තරයක් දිය යුතු හින්දා උත්තරයක්
මෙහෙම ස්ටෙප් එක බලමු. අපි පොඩි දවස් වල යනකොට බෝල් පොයින්ට් පෑන් දිනවා කූර දාගන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් කූර දාගන්න බැරි වෙන්නේ මේ දෙකම සීල් කියලා එවනවා. අයි ආණ්ඩුවට රජයකට එන්න නැත්නම් පරිසර අමාත්‍යාංශයට ඒ වගේ දෙයක් ඇක්ටිව් එකක් කරගන්න බැරි. මම මේ කොහොමද කියනවා නෙවෙයි. මේ පරිසරයේ ලක්ෂණවල කියලා පාලනකම් එක જાති තියෙනවා, සෙමිනාර් තියෙනවා, ආවල් තියෙනවා, මේවා තියෙනවා. එකක්වත් ඊට පස්සේ ඒවයි අවුට්කම් එක කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ?
අනිවාර්යයෙන් අපි ප්‍රශ්නේ අනිවාර්යෙන් පරිසර අමාත්‍යාංශයට යොමු කරන්නම් මේ පොරාරම්භ පස්සේ. හැබැයි අපි ආගරු කරන ප්‍රශ්නේ හැමෝම අපි දැන් ආරම්භයක් තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න කට්ටිය ගත්තා. ඉතින් මෙතන ඒ ආරම්භයත් එක්ක තවත් ප්‍රශ්න කීපයක් අපිට යොමු වෙයි කියලා.
සිංහලෙන් කියන SME එකක් සස්ටේන් වෙන්න නම් මේන් රික්වයර්මන්ට් එක වෙනවනේ ඇත්තටම ප්‍රොෆිට් එකයි සේල් එකයි කියන එක. ඉතින් ඔතෙන්දී මම කියන්නේ ජෙනරල් පබ්ලික් එකේ කස්ටමර් කෙනෙක් විදිහට ආවොත් මම සර්ටිෆයිඩ් SME ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් පර්චේස් කරනවා නම් මට තියෙන බෙනිෆිට් එක මොකද්ද? ඒක එහෙම නැත්නම් මම SME සර්ටිෆයිඩ් ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එකක් කාගේ පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් මම බැංක් එකකට ගිහින් මම හවුසින් ලෝන් එකක් ගන්නවා කියලා. මම මේ හවුසින් ලෝන් එක අර කියපු SME ප්‍රොඩක්ට්ස් පාවිච්චි කරලා මේ ගේ හදන්න යනවා නම් මට හවුසින් ලෝන් එකට මොකක් හරි බෙනිෆිට් එකක් හම්බ වෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් දැන් SME එක සර්ටිෆයිඩ් ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක විදිහට නැහැ කියන්නේ කොස්ට් සේවින් එනි සේවින් වෝටර් සේවින් ඔය පැත්ත අපි කතා කරද්දී ඒ සේවින් එකේ බෙනිෆිට් කියන්නේ මැනුෆැක්චරර් දෙන බෙනිෆිට් එක කස්ටමර්ට කොහෙන් හරි ඒක ෆෝවර්ඩ් වෙනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒ හරහා කස්ටමර්ට ගේන් එකක් එනවද මම මේ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක පර්චේස් කරන්න ඕනේ කියන තැනට. ඔය ඔන්න ඕක කවර් වෙනවද මේ සර්ටිෆිකේෂන් එක ඇතුළේ?
මේ වක්‍රාකාර වෙයි දැන් ටිකක් ફોකස් එක තියෙන හුඟක්ම බිස්නස් ලෝන්ස් දෙනකොට right දැන් බිස්නස් ලෝන් එකක කියන්නේ ග්‍රීන් බිල්ඩින් දැන් අපේ දැන් ග්‍රීන් බිල්ඩින් කවුන්සිල් එකේ ග්‍රීන් බිල්ඩින් සර්ටිෆිකේට් එක තියෙන එක ලෙවල්ස් gold and platinum certification එකක් තියෙනවා නම් අපේ green finance taxonomy එකට අනුව ඒ ලෝන් එක green loan එකක් හැටියට කරගන්න. ඉතින් සමහර බැංකුවල green loan එකක් තියෙනවා. green loan එකක් නම් ඒ loan එකට interest rate එක අඩු කරනවා. ඉතින් මම හිතන්නේ commercial bank එකේ මම හිතන්නේ housing loans උනත් තියෙනවා. green building වලට. green apartments තියෙනවා. green certified green building council certified apartment complexes වල green building එකක නම් loan එක අඩු කරනවා. ඒක commercial මටකයි මම සයිට් එකේ කියමු හිත වෙන බැංකුව වලට ඔය තියෙනවා. හිතන්නේ මේ බැංකු කීපයකම තියෙනවා green loans වලට ටිකක් රේට් එක ටිකක් අඩු කරලා දෙනවා. ඉතින් ඒ වගේ ක්‍රමදා ක්‍රියාවලිය තියෙනවා දැන්.
මම කැමති ගොරිසම් වලට දෙයකට මේකට පොඩි උත්තරයක් දෙන්න. දැන් බහුතරයක් SME කට්ටිය ඒ වගේම ගොරිසම් අය the whole tourism sector connected with booking engine. So we have discussion as well as came to some sort of a level of not an agreement, some sort of understanding. Both booking.com and the Agoda, those who have certified on sustainability is listed when someone search within first 10. So that is the benefit to the what you call the service provider, and the consumer will get the satisfaction. So when we display our maybe the logo or maybe the certificate or maybe a ARM certified, so customer also will be happy. So in tourism, we are linking both the consumer as well as the service provider to be kind of a satisfied or rather win-win situation. So which will continue in the future in a greater scale, but we start small, especially for the SME.
Yeah, I just talked about on behalf of the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka. When we start the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, we have zero benefit. But now, like as he mentioned, that there are housing loan scheme where the rate will be lesser than the usual. And of course, there are when you go to the factories, to develop like greener product and so forth. There is a special loan. Likewise, day by day evolving. So it takes time. You can't have we can start everything, but nowadays we can be happy about some benefits are being transferred to the consumer.
අපිට ඇඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන් දැන් EU එකට එක්ස්පෝර්ට් කරනවා නම් ඒ මුළු වැලියු චේන් එකේම සස්ටේනබිලිටි ඇස්පෙක්ට් එක බලා ගන්න. දැන් ලංකාවේ රබර් ගන්නවා නම් ඒ රබර් වල තියෙන්නේ ගණන්තරයක් අපලද නැත්ද කියලා සර්ටිෆිකේෂන් එකක් ලබා ගන්න. ඒක එක්ස්පෝර්ට්. හැබැයි ලෝකල් මාකට් එක උනත් දැන් සමහර කම්පැනි වල සස්ටේනබල් ප්‍රොකියුමන්ට් පොලිසි එකක්. දැන් මේ සස්ටේනබල් ප්‍රොකියුමන්ට් පොලිසි එකේ බලනවා නම් අලුතෙන් එයාර් කන්ඩිෂන් එකක් ගන්නවා නම් මේක කොස්ට් එන්වයරන්මන්ටල් කොස්ට් බෙනිෆිට් එක බලලා තියෙනවා. කාබන් ෆුට්ප්‍රින්ට් එක බලලා තියෙනවා. ඉන්වර්ටර් එයාර් කන්ඩිෂන් එකක් ගන්නවා. normal දෙයකට වඩා. ඒක උගක් කෝපනේට් එක කම්පැනි ටීප් එක ගත්තේ ඉන්වර්ටර් එක ගන්න නැතුව. හැබැයි දැන් සස්ටේනබල් ප්‍රොකියුමන්ට් පොලිසි එකක් තියෙනවා නම් අර මේ ඇස්පෙක්ට් එකක් බලා ගන්න. කොස්ට් එක විතරක් නෙවෙයි. ඉතින් එහෙම මේ වගේ පොලිසි එකක් ව්‍යාප්ත වුණාම ये प्रोडक्ट इनका प्रोडक्शन में हदन में है नहीं ना कानी प्रोडक्शन इतना ना मार लेने
බොහොම ස්තුතියි ආ ප්‍රශ්නෙට සමහරවිට මේකත් එක ලොකු සතහනක් ඇති වුණා. අපේ කාලයවත් අවසන් හින්දා අපි මෙතනින් නිමා කරන්න පැනල් ඩිස්කෂන් එක. හැබැයි ඉස්සරහට අපි දිගටම මේ දේවල් කරන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන ඉතින් අපිත් එක්ක ඔක්කොම ලැබීම් සිටින කියලා ආරාධනා කරනවා. So with that I'm going to take this moment to thank every one of you, the panelists. So thank you very much for taking your precious time of your lives, because you have a very busy schedule and even creating this certification of the you help us a lot throughout the way. So thank you very much for that. So Professor Ragin Hallatura, thank you very much, sir, for taking your time. Mr. Kirti Guruvada, thank you very much for your all insights and expertise shared upon here. And Mr. Nalin Kaunathalika, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts as well. And Mr. Palik Ratnakar, thank you very much for coming here, sharing your thoughts, your experiences, and your takes on the problems that we had earlier as well. So thank you very much, all of you, for coming here and inspiring us to take this moment forward. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for you all as well for giving us questions and being a part of this panel discussion. Thank you very much. We will see you very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Check. Michael. Check. Thank you for our distinguished panelists for that insightful panel discussion. Okay, now we have reached a moment to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our distinguished panelists who have shared their valuable insights and experiences with us during today's discussion. Before we present the tokens of appreciation to our distinguished panelists, we would like to share the special significance behind them. So, this time the tokens have been created under the theme Green Transition Through Young Minds, reflecting the creativity, hope and vision of the young generation for a sustainable future. So, these tokens of appreciations are paintings And these paintings are beautifully crafted by 4 talented students from the Amritsar National School, Nathandiya, who have expressed through art how they envision a greener, cleaner, and more sustainable world. So each token represents not only our appreciation to the panelists, but also a message from the next generation, reminding us that the path to a green transition is one we build together for their future. So unfortunately, the students from the school could not be here with us today, but we will be presenting the tokens to our panelists. So with that, I now invite Professor Ranjit Disanayaka and Architect Chandana Edirisuriya to kindly present the tokens of appreciation to our esteemed panelists. I invite our panelists on stage to accept our tokens of appreciation. Sure. Professor Ramika Harvatura. Mr. Nalin Karunatilaka, thank you very much for your contribution today. Professor Ramika Harvatura, thank you very much for being here with us today, sharing your insights and empowering the youth to move forward as green entrepreneurs. Mr. Kirti Gunawardana, your expertise and visionary in the industry has ever empowered us and enriched us in moving forward. Mr. Upali Ratnayaka, we appreciate your dedication for being here with us today on our panel discussion. And for Sanjeev Dhananjana, our moderator for the panel discussion. Thank you very much for the moderation of an insightful panel discussion and representing the youth for our sustainable future. So, thank you, Professor. Thank you, Architect Chandana. So now I have displayed here the paintings which were received from the school students of the Amritsar National School. As we come close to the close of this enlightening and inspiring forum on unlocking opportunities for the green transition of MSMEs, it is time to acknowledge with gratitude all those who made this event a success. To extend our heartfelt appreciation to our distinguished guests, speakers, panelists, partners and participants, I now kindly invite Engineer Chandana Dalugoda, Director, Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, to deliver the vote of thanks.
අවසරයි හඳුරුවේ
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. As we conclude this memorable and inspiring event, it is my great honor and privilege on behalf of the Green Building Council Sri Lanka to deliver the vote of thanks on this significant occasion. So this event marks the ceremonial launch of the Handbook of Planet Protectors Sustainable Certification for MSMEs and the fruitful discussion forum on unlocking opportunities for the green transitions of SMEs. First and foremost, we extend our sincere gratitude to our chief guest, the Honorable Anton Jayakodi, Deputy Minister of Environment, for his gracious presence and the inspiring message he shared today. His continued support for sustainable development in Sri Lanka strengthens all our collective efforts. We are equally honored by the presence of our guest of honor, Professor Ananda Jayawardena, whose leadership and commitment to environmental stewardship and enterprise development for the banking sector, especially banking sector, in green transformation. A special word of appreciation also to our keynote speaker, Professor Sarath Kotagama, whose wisdom and passion for conservation have guided generations. His message powerfully reminded us of the deep connection between sustainability, livelihoods, and the well-being of our planet. At this moment, we offer our deepest gratitude to those who brought this important initiative to life. We first acknowledge Professor Paul Mansell, whose foresight and initiative gave birth to the foundational idea of the planet protectors sustainability and the certification for SMEs. So this handbook is the result of a unique collaboration between GAP headquarters, the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, and Planet Protectors, sharing one vision, that is to empower micro, small, and medium enterprises to the transition toward greener and more sustainable business practices. Building on that pioneering vision, we thank Professor Ranjit Disanayake, founder GAP headquarters and immediate past chairman of GBCSL, and also past president of IESL, for his strategic leadership and crucial role in translating this concept into practical reality. So we also thank Venerable Tithagale Anandathero, founder of Planet Protectors, and Venerable Mathara Siddhartha Thera, whose spiritual leadership, compassion, and unwavering dedication to promoting environmental awareness have been at the heart of this initiative, ensuring it reflects the deeper value of environmental stewardship. Our sincere appreciation goes to the leadership of GBCSL. Firstly, Architect Jayantha Perera, Chairman, for his strategic guidance in aligning this certification with national sustainability priorities. All Vice Chairmen and the Directors of Green Building Council Sri Lanka, and including Mr. Lionel Nawagamuwa, for their consistent support for and for ensuring the framework is practical and responsive to the real needs of MSMEs. We also specially recognize the dedicated project team. Engineer Chamodi Panduwavela, project designer at GBCSL, Engineer Sajeev Dhananjay, project manager of GAP headquarters. Actually, your commitment, technical expertise, and perseverance were instrumental in shaping the content and structure of this vital handbook. We offer special and specific thanks to experts who illuminated the pathways of MSMEs in today's discussion. Our gratitude goes to the moderator, Engineer Sanjeeva Dhananjana, and our esteemed panel of members sharing their invaluable insights. Professor Rangega Halwathura, Mr. Nalin Karunaratna, Mr. Kirti Gunawardana, and Mr. Upali Ratnayaka. Thank you all for fostering a dialogue that will directly contribute to the green transition. To all special guests and participants, we extend our participation for your valuable insights and contributions. Your dialogue has helped illuminate new pathways for MESMs to thrive sustainability. Finally, to all our partners, sponsors, colleagues, especially GBCSL team, GAP headquarters team, and Planet Protectors organization team, and their youth who joined us today, thank you for being part of the movement. Your passion and commitment give us confidence that Sri Lanka's green future is in capable hands. So this is a long word of thanks, and we are at the end. As we conclude this event, let us move forward together as planet protectors to build a resilient, inclusive, and sustainable Sri Lanka, where our enterprises, our environment, and our people grow in harmony. Thank you, and wish you all a pleasant evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Dalgoda, for those kind words of appreciation. As we conclude today's forum on unlocking opportunities for the green transition of MSMEs and the ceremonial launching, we extend our sincere gratitude to all our distinguished guests, speakers, and participants for being a part of this important dialogue. On behalf of the Green Building Council of Sri Lanka, GAP HQ, and Planet Protectors Organization, we wish you a pleasant evening and a safe, sustainable journey ahead. Thank you. And we have arranged a small evening snack for you outside, and also we have arranged a souvenir, a balloon plant, which you will be receiving while you are leaving the auditorium. So thank you everyone, thank you very much.